kick the views of my ill composition. Chemist 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 kick the
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you listen to this. This is Matthew Bailey alongside my critiquing partner in crime, Ricardo Medina.
Hola, 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 hola.
And this is another episode of Beers, Beats, and Bailey. So, preamble before we begin. So I am back to normal health wise. Remember the last episode I was kind of under the weather, missed out a lot in the film festival. But on the subject of the film festival, I know that Ricardo managed to see that one film he promised himself that he would see. That's that Miles Davis biopic. Miles
Ahead. Well, biopic, I should say, is a loose kind of definition given this movie.
Let me get to another day in the life of. I see that's like a new trend now. Not a new trend. It's been going on for years.
I'll tell you what he tried to do, and he kind of failed. But I'll talk about it.
Okay. All right, and alongside that, actually down here in Trinidad, a particular movie came out, and I just, like, for me personally, I just have the feeling that they just brought it out because they had nothing else to show. Capacity is in its third week, so hey, when people have seen Marshall Montano twice, what else is there? So we got a martial arts film called Kickboxer Vengeance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which actually came out on VOD September 2nd.
Right.
And I was always meaning to check it out, maybe on a Saturday, because I don't know, personally for me, because I grew up on martial art films, I love to watch these kind of shows on a Saturday, it's one of those kind of, just something that I love to do. So
that was the kind of staple for us growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday midday or Saturday midday, you just run some awesome.
Yeah, I really need to get back to doing that. Or some kung fu flicks, yeah.
Yeah, no?
So yeah, if the title didn't sell it. Yes, it's a sequel that I guess everyone was looking forward to of the 1989 classic, I use that term loosely, Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Kickboxer.
Right. The thing is that Van Damme kind of making a quick comeback because he has a show on Amazon, I think, a new show.
What is it again?
I think it's his name. I think Jean-Claude Van something.
Van Johnson or something like that.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah, some bullshit. I didn't give it a chance. But I heard one friend he like really into it. So I was like, shout out to Hazley in World Plus. He's the friend I'm talking about.
Okay.
But Hazley's a comic book salesman down in Trinidad here. He does he's a great comic book store, so I recommend going to his place. It's awesome. Right. And he has a lot of very opinionated about comic books and movies and stuff like that. And he's the one who woke me up onto it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, before we continue, big news for internet cynics like you and I. Mr. Plinkett Star Wars Awakens review is out.
I saw it. Yeah, I actually pulled up YouTube like about 10 minutes before we started this. I saw it up. I see it's like an hour and 45 minutes.
Right. So it's out.
Maybe I should spend the night checking it out.
I'm about 20 minutes in. I'll stop to just to record this episode. It is going fucking amazing right now. It's hilarious and it's the perfect, like, my type of humor is dark, cynical humor. But they're covering all the stuff about the Star Wars franchise and doing that stuff. So I hope to just watch the rest of this after.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to mention that.
All right. I just hope you touch on that whole nostalgia beat thing that that film was notorious for.
Right, so you cover it, but you cover it pretty much everything.
Right. Also, alongside with Kickboxer Vengeance, after that, we both, or I should say, I kind of encourage Ricardo to check it out. It's a movie that I've always been meaning to see, but I really didn't want to wait until like November or December when I usually tend to cover movies that I haven't seen to say,
for the year.
Okay, this is the best, this is the worst, which is something I always love to do. But this one was a rare exception. I'm talking about the latest film from Nicholas Winding
Refn. Yeah.
Winding Refn.
This is his sixth film? His
I
sixth
am
film now?
not sure, to be honest.
Well, okay, so
I
his,
haven't been running through his
he has three I forget the relatively small films he had before Drive. And then
there was Valhalla Rising. There was
right, and I think that's a trilogy, if I remember correctly.
Right. And there was 2 other shows. I think they were more like kind of gritty crime stuff. But yeah, this one is called The Neon Demon.
Right.
I've heard a lot of things about it. Some people say it's one of the best of the year. Some people say it's one of the worst of the year.
Yes,
I was just curious.
When I watch it, I was like, yeah, I totally understand why you would hate this, and I totally understand why some people would love it.
Me too. Same here.
But we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we will talk about that.
Yeah.
And finally, we will talk about the latest Marvel Netflix TV series.
Yes.
One that I have been hyped for the longest while. I mentioned it in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Luke Cage.
Yes.
Yes. All 13 episodes came out Friday at the time of this recording. So I managed to check them out.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch all 13 on Saturday. I only watched like one episode on Friday, 1 episode on Friday, 11 on Saturday, and I think it was, and the last one, or the last 2 actually, my mistake, this morning.
Right.
And, well, like I say, we just kind of hold back on that for now. Both of us will kind of talk about what we thought about it, what we liked, what we didn't like. So, to start things off, Ricardo, miles ahead. You managed to see it, so
yes.
How was it?
I personally loved it. Right, I really, really enjoyed this movie. But I have to, this is like the exact opposite of Neon Demon in terms of the critique, which is personally loved it, but it has a bunch of objective problems in terms of what it should be and how it should tell the story and all this kind of stuff. Whilst Neon Demon is personally hated it, but it really works. But it is quite brilliant in terms of how it structures itself and well made and blah blah blah. That's the opposite. So Don Cheadle is his directing debut, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
You're right, and it's really a passion project. You could tell he really wanted to get this done for a long time. He always talked about it in many interviews, and it's in many ways very well made. In some ways.
In some ways.
Yeah, in some ways. I'm going to explain why. It's well shot, really well shot. It does this kind of old Kodak style camera approach to the filmmaking. So stuff looks like if it's at least aesthetically looks as if it's shot back then.
Right.
Back in the time of the life and times of Miles Davis. How everything is colored. Dark skin, especially how to get dark skin to color well now. Mm-hmm. It's edited quite well, so it does this kind of stream of consciousness approach to editing. Well, because it's jazz, Miles Davis is a famous jazz musician. Yeah,
and really famous for that kind of.
Or I should call it social music. It's social filmmaking, because there's a little catch joke inside the movie itself.
Okay, and I was gonna say that he's really famous for a kind of I forget the actual term. It's called modal jazz.
Yeah.
It's more like just being in the mood and just playing whatever comes to mind, melodies.
Right.
And stuff.
And then it's also reasonably well acted. I thought the blocking was quite good. Everybody acted quite well in it. Had little moments in it, especially the chemistry between Don Cheadle and Ewan McGregor. They were great together.
Ewan McGregor was in this. Okay.
Yeah. Ewan McGregor was Ewan McGregor was this reporter who kind of conned himself into Miles Davis's life to cover a story, and they did a whole thing. And then I thought it was reasonably well paced. But I'm going to explain what the downside to that was. Basically, it covers that Miles Davis's career in you could say his kind of lull career, and he had a lull period in his life where he doesn't do a lot. Just kind of went in his kind of doldrums. He kind of became secluded. Everybody in the movie, it's referenced, and they call a lot of people reference this as well. He's the jazz Howard Hughes. He kind of became really, really recluse. Bit of an attitude problem. He had very little issues in terms of anger management, of course. Mm-hmm. And then they cover his early career and his early life, and why he's kind of brilliant, and why he's the line between genius and insanity is a very, very, very thin and blurry one. And
why always the great musicians are like that?
Right, that's the whole point. And they do a good job with that. What I would say is that here's the thing. I should have done a little more research to see if this was the case, but the movie puts a lot of stuff that just simply did not happen, and Don Cheadle, from what I understand, just make up a set of stuff just for the sake of the narrative. But what if I understand is that it seemed to be based on like Miles Davis, like some of his ramblings and some of his other statements and get private statements of what he experienced, because it does a lot of stream of consciousness. You're not sure if this is not reality and this is real, but you're not sure what Miles Davis actually did. So it had this whole car chase sequence that, from what people say, seems to never have happened. It was totally invented. Walter Hochlock from Don Cheadle is the other writer. I forget the other writer's name. And it does make the case of the story being more exciting, but it's like, if it didn't happen, then it undermines the idea of a biopic, especially a music biopic.
No question, right? So those
Yeah.
moments that are that aren't real,
Right.
is it that you hear some sort of some sort of stream of consciousness, like narration
Right.
or some kind of thing?
Right.
So
So that's what it does. It does the approach of what they call the unreliable narrator.
Okay.
Because the movie starts like that. It starts with him saying, "Hey, you can't put this into words," and then his Ewan McGregor's character. And here's the thing: the interpretation of Ewan McGregor's character, you're not even sure if that's real, because the version of Ewan McGregor you see in the quote unquote real world, this is the beginning of the film, is vastly different from the one you see inside the story itself. So it starts off with him saying, Ewan McGregor's character asks him, "How are you going to say this?" And then he puts up his trumpet, and then and he just blasts it off, and the narrative starts. So he's putting the whole thing in music form.
Right.
So you get the feeling that's what they're going for. So it's like a jazz interpretation of a story.
I see.
Right, and it was kind of clever in that way. So if you were to give it that if you were to be as charitable as you can, I was very charitable towards this movie. The story totally works, because it's like, it doesn't really matter what's true or not. It's just about raw emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about the general narrative and then the gist of the story and just emotion. So that's music, that's jazz. That's the whole point. And they do a good job of doing that story. So it's basically Miles in his little career. Okay, so you haven't watched any episodes of Atlanta yet, right?
No, I haven't, but I will.
Anyway, so one of the stars of Atlanta was in this as well. He, I forget the boy name. He was the
You need to
Darius.
study.
Keith Stanfield as Darius. That was the character's name.
All right.
Keith Stanfield as Darius, right? Keith Stanfield has been doing a lot of stuff. I've seen him in and around a bunch of things. So I was really glad to see him in this as this young jazz musician, up and coming. And they do a whole thing with the plot with him. So the whole story is about the missing tapes of Miles Davis, and how he just wanted to keep it private and nobody wanted to see it, but the record company wanted it. So they had a whole thing where he had this girl Miles Davis was with. She threw a party inside his house, and they were doing, like, he and Ewan McGregor downstairs doing music.
Mm-hmm.
And then Keith Stanfield's character and his agent, more or less, steals the tape from his house, from Miles Davis' house. And the whole thing is Miles Davis trying to get back this tape, essentially.
Okay.
True. With Ewan McGregor, basically them and a lot of shenanigans. And it had a whole bunch of just cool scenes in it. Like, they had to buy drugs in a scene. They had to go on. They do a lot of flashbacks with Miles' first love. I forget her name. She was really hot though. And they just run around with the stream of consciousness of Miles going back and forth of him being hung up about this old love interest.
Right.
And the whole aspect of him regretting the past.
Okay.
Her name is, it's a bit kind of hard to pronounce. Emayatsi Coronildi, or Coronildi. She played Frances Taylor, Lyle's love interest. Oh, by the way, the movie is named after one of Miles Davis's albums.
Yeah. I'm actually familiar with that title.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a movie that I just totally worked for me. The music was awesome. Don Cheadle acted well. Ewan McGregor was great, as I think it was Dave Brandon was the person name, I forget his name. Keith Stanfield was awesome. And yeah, I totally recommend this movie. I give this movie a pretty good score. Here's the downside. Because of the stuff involving the unreliable narration,
Right.
you have to interpret that and whether or not you're going to accept that or not. And then on top of that, now you have these little amateur filming moments in terms of like where the camera should be. And again, that's just more like just a first-time director making these mistakes. So I don't really mind that. I'll give it a quick rating because nothing much to talk about that much. But I'll give it a quick rating. I give this, say, a high movie tongue.
Sweet. All right.
Very high movie tongue. It totally catered to my sensibilities because I love jazz music.
Me
not
too.
a secret.
Me too.
Not a secret. And they just had a lot of great music in this. It was like one of the big reasons you enjoy Whiplash. Just amazing music throughout the entire script.
Yeah.
Great editing. It cut together really well. It had just all this stream of consciousness, like if a filmmaker doing jazz. That's what it was. It felt like that. And
But,
so if
that in itself actually makes me really intrigued to check it out, because I would love to see how that narrative is expressed there.
Yeah, and then I appreciated how it's shot. It just was really nice. You know, if you're familiar, okay, so one of my lots in Da Vinci is called K-Tone, and that's basically Kodak style to make your camera stuff, modern cameras look like an old Kodak filming camera.
Right.
And a lot of it looked like that. It looked like that K-Tone, like if you get a really expensive camera and they just put that K-Tone lot and they just touched it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was really well shot. Although that was a bit inconsistent, the cinematography. Some of the stuff looked amazing, and then other stuff didn't look so amazing. It looked like just a bland, straightforward shot. So I get the feeling that a lot of it was like for the sake of film purposes, because all the memory stuff was really well shot, whilst all the modern stuff just looked bland and uninteresting. So I suppose that's probably just an intentional kind of approach. Maybe, not sure. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this movie. I totally recommend it to anybody. If you love jazz music, if you love Don Cheadle, he's a really damn good actor. He held the film.
And if you love Miles Davis, hey.
And if you love Miles Davis, well, you should love this. This really worked. For me personally, it was a great standoff to the TTFF. Even though I don't go to much films, I only went to 2. I should have go to more, whatever.
Yeah. But speaking of which, how was the reception for that movie?
Oh yeah,
even though it's an American film.
It had a pretty big crowd. To why I went. A lot of people went to it. People were laughing. It had a lot of great comedy moments in it. And yeah, it totally worked. Yeah, that is a good crowd. I wasn't empty. I actually struggled to find a seat for a while. Mostly because dark. But I just asked a woman and she's like, yeah, this seat taken. So that means, it had people.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed this film. I didn't expect to enjoy it so much. I was hyped for it because I was like a big fan of Don Cheadle. I was really glad, just really rooting for him to do his first directorial debut. And I just didn't expect it to be this good. At least not appeal to me this much. But yeah, it had its problems. It had little narrative issues here or there. So I couldn't really give it like a real great score on top. But still solid. Really damn good. High movie tongue. If you get a chance to go see it, anybody, if it comes up on Netflix or whatever, whenever you get a chance, go see it as soon as you can.
All right. Well, I will check it out as well too.
Yeah.
Huge fan of Don Cheadle. Really want to see what he brings to the table in terms of his first directorial film.
I don't know if this is true because I tried to look up if he really direct.
Or maybe he did something else before. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I tried to just check. Nah, I don't think he did anything. Trying to look. Nope, not really. At least somebody could probably correct me on that. But yeah, as far as I know, it's his directing debut.
Okay.
Yeah, he did a lot of producing stuff, but I don't think as a director he didn't do anything.
All right.
Just did a lot of producing work and Crash, Traitor, Talk to Me, stuff like that.
I was supposed to watch Talk to Me for the longest while, but never got around to it.
But yeah, like one of the few Adam Sandler movies that you should like. Oh no, this is with was Radio Personality.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he one with Adam Sandler? I forget.
That's Reign Over Me.
Reign Over Me.
Yeah, which was based off of the greats. No, not the subject matter. I'm talking about the song. It's from the rock band The Who.
Right.
It's the last track off of their rock opera Quattrophenia.
Right.
Which is a movie for which I haven't seen, but yeah.
Okay.
Know the album, love it and stuff.
Right.
All right. Well, so yeah, I'll definitely check out Miles Ahead.
Yeah.
So, it's judging from what you said, it sounds like I'm gonna enjoy that a lot. So
yeah, I mean, I always was a fan of Don Cheadle. Everything he does, almost every movie I enjoyed him in. I can't think of anything I hate him in. Even stuff that you don't really care for as a movie, you liked him in it. He was in and almost everything I try to think of. He's great as Rudy in Iron Man. Hotel Rwanda is a classic for me. Ragged Rain Over Me, Ocean 13, just even the small parts he did. Love it.
Yeah.
He did just a bunch of cool shit. And yes, you always liked him. He did a movie that really underappreciated as Traitor.
I'm
really
familiar with
enjoyed.
Traitor, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I didn't expect that movie to be so damn good. And I was like, oh shit. It's like basically black 24 though.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like, except they switched it up.
Even right down to the poster. I remember the poster having that kind of 24 kind of look to it.
Yeah. It had that same, but it was really well done. I thought it was really, really well done. And they did a good job with the story and just make it twist. They twist some interesting stuff with it and made it work.
Okay.
I like. Yeah,
right.
anyway.
I'll check that out.
So that's that.
So we're moving along from Miles Davis and jazz to Jean-Claude Van Damme and martial arts.
Yeah.
Weird segue, I know.
Yeah.
So yes, I'll be talking about Kickboxer Vengeance.
Right.
A show that I was curious about. I mean, I saw the trailer for it before, but I was like, all right, I'll take my sweet time to check it out.
I love how we doing this instead of because Nina watched it.
Yeah, but I'll say this much though. All right, so Stallone had his comeback pretty much with not just with the Expendables, but also with Creed. So think of Kickboxer Vengeance as Van Damme's Creed.
Okay.
Yes, it's that. Okay. So all right. Before I get into what the show is about, I'll say as much. I love my kung fu movies. I love my martial arts movies. I should say, from a very young age. If you grew up in my time, especially if you were living in Trinidad, you know that especially like Easter time, summer, and winter, there would always be like one or two kung fu movies that would come out. Especially those from like, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and usually come out from companies such as Golden Harvest. They used to bring out like the best martial arts film in my opinion.
Shaw
during
Brothers.
the 90s. Shaw Brothers, of course, that was like way back in the 80s and 70s and stuff. But I just grew up on Golden Harvest stuff. So it was Jet Li, it was Twin Warriors, or at the time it's called Tai Chi, all those kind of shows I grew up on. But maybe it's because Van Damme and like Steven Seagal was when I was very, very, very young, and of course I couldn't get to go and see those shows because, I wasn't 14. They just never resonated with me that much. And even when I got the chance to see them on TV, cause like they would show, they like I remember they showed Above the Law and Hard to Kill and those kind of shows. Go Back for Death, which was where Steven Seagal went to Jamaica and fighted all these Rastafarians. I go kill him, and then I go kill you, and all these cheesy lines and stuff. So I never really got into Seagal stuff, for obvious reasons. Because Steven Seagal, man, come on, he was like this impenetrable guy. Anybody ever try to touch him, he kind of beat him up, and throw them through a window, some kind of crap like that. But just really this fat guy doing that. And then of course with Van Damme, I don't know, like just for him as an actor, I just could never get into his movies. I mean, sure, he did the splits and the spin kick and all that stuff, but I don't know, I just couldn't get into his movies. I mean, I know they were big movies at the time, like Lionheart was one, although in Trinidad they call it AWOL, Absent Without Leave. There was Double Impact, which was a big deal back in '91, but once again, I was too young, couldn't see it. And then I actually saw it for the first time on cable. I was like, wait, that's it? That's a big hype. Van Damme playing two twin brothers. I'm like, playing twin brothers. I'm like, really? That's it? Right. And I don't know, just his movie just never really clicked for me. But it's when he starred in. You should know what I'm talking about. Street Fighter back in '94.
Of course, yeah.
That was kind of like what put him. Yeah, of course I know. That was kind of like what put him in that. I guess in the mainstream, it just took him out of that sort of B-grade action movie and put him in like a legit Hollywood feature.
But I think with him, he was a person that he just barely like etched into A-list celebrity for 2 seconds and then back into nonsense. Because the movie I love him in that I actually genuinely enjoyed, even though looking back at it, it's pretty damn dumb. Time Cop.
Oh yes, I saw Time Cop.
Time Cop. But Time Cop was like to me was a really like actual up there movie. It wasn't like something.
There was a TV series for it, by the way, which I actually enjoyed watching.
Right.
Yeah.
But I remember the movie being pretty damn awesome. Well, the big famous thing about that movie is the big split where he dodged the bullet with the split. I was like, yeah. But
I think it's because of the director, the story,
Yeah, they make it work. The script was solid. Again, it's dumb time travel bullshit as usual. But it was for its time, it was pretty damn up there in my opinion. I was like, oh, Van Damme actually up there as a A-list celebrity in my opinion. I always thought, and then he just dipped right back into B-movie crap like almost immediately after that.
The moment where I realized like, this man is going back to that old shit was when he did Double Team with Dennis Rodman of all people back in '97.
Yeah.
Never saw it. I heard so much bad things about it.
I saw that in theaters. I went to see it in theaters. No parents.
Yeah, I remember that show was for all ages apparently because it was Van Damme and nobody would care, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, blood and guts, who cares? But yeah, but
you think about Van Damme is that he always played he always played like just crappy side people forever, like in the 80s. So what did he
speaking about 80s, the one show I would say that I really liked from him was the first Bloodsport movie.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Cheesy,
I don't know. I'll tell you what I love from him, man. Like Bloodsport, I love the quest.
I never saw the quest. I know
love
Roger
that
Moore
shit.
was in it, but I always wanted to see that.
It's a total B movie, but
I
that
thought it was a ripoff for Mortal Kombat though.
basically, yeah, that's pretty much what it was, but it was fucking awesome. And it had one of the funniest things is just the one thing I remember about that fucking movie is the fellow who the the guy who was the announcer. So the guy used to yell on the countries now. And he used to only call them by the countries essentially. So it's like Mongolia! And basically it was Mongolia. It was the last guy, and the Mongolia guy was so badass.
Right.
But the point I wanted to make was he had a movie called Monaco Forever. That's to be what his famous little piece of trivia about him, because in the movie he was called Gay Karate Man. I was like, little stupid shit like that. It's just I love. I don't know. He's a person that he just had a shitty agent. I think he's one of those guys. Mm-hmm. He just had a really shitty agent compared to Stallone and Arnold. He just never get a proper agent to just go into the stratosphere, because he could have totally get a movie like Stallone or Schwarzenegger and be
because back in the 90s they were just, I mean, no, not all of the movies worked, but they were in big movies.
Exactly, they were pretty big movies, and that's the important point. And there's a distinction between actor and action star, right? Stallone and well, I would
Stallone's an actor,
right? I'll give Stallone his due.
He who became an action star.
Yeah, Arnold was never an actor. Arnold was an action star. Let's just be clear about that. He was never an actor. He never acted good in any movies. He's just always bullshit.
Wait, hold up. But now, what about Twins?
No.
Dumb comedy.
Bullshit.
What about Junior? Dumb comedy. But
Junior was terrible. What are you talking about? Junior was fucking terrible.
And don't forget Emergency C-section.
But the only movie I'll give him his due was the first Terminator, because it fit perfectly with his role, but it was still
Terminator
terrible.
2, best movie ever. Best action movie ever.
Arnold was terrible in Terminator 2.
How can you say that?
He tried to act. That's the problem.
They told him be a robot. How would a robot react in this situation?
He was perfect in the first Terminator. Perfect in the first Terminator because he was totally stone cold and he bullshit. The second one, they tried to give him like more things to do, and it does come across as dumb.
Like what? Smile.
Right, and he tried to what happens at the problem is that they give him a lot of lines to say now, so you have to explain shit, and because he was doing exposition dumb, it has to end up looking dumb. He had to just give the information, and although him talk for Terminator 3, that was just retarded.
Yeah, that was you could tell he was just kind of poking fun at himself there, but did he need to do that? I don't know. I still liked it for what it was, but anyway, right. Yeah. So with Van Damme now, right, with the Expendable movies that came out last 5 years or so, like, I mean, the first one that came out and we were like, yeah, we enjoyed it for what it was. I just felt personally it took itself a little too seriously. But then when the second one came out and we saw Van Damme was going to be the villain, we was like, what? And then we saw it and you could tell this man was just having fun, with the shades, the have his head up a little slightly, you could see his chin. And there's these kind of like real kind of corny badass one-liners and stuff. I like how he kill off Diator.
Yeah.
That was
cool. In the second Expendables, right?
In the second Expendables.
Yeah. But here's the thing with that movie, I was really disappointed in that one, because the first Expendables...
Why? Because Stallone beat him so quick?
Not that. Is that what happens is that they didn't embrace the material enough. Like, the first Expendables totally worked, right? In terms of it's supposed to be a stupid action movie, but then they still made a good stupid action movie. That to me was important, especially that awesome part with Terry Crews with the auto shotty.
Oh my god, best scene ever.
Yeah, that just fucking up. It just totally work as an action film. Like, he's like, yeah, this is how you're supposed to do action movie. But then with the second and third films, they just kind of start, even on that level, they start to half-ass it. And that kind of pissed me off. And the only part of that movie I enjoyed was Diator's part, where he was just sniping guys in the beginning, even though it was crappy fake blood, CG blood nonsense.
Yeah.
I just was so disappointed in that second one. But yeah, Van Damme was pretty awesome in that. He get the guy the kick in the chest with the knife. And then he hits Stallone 2 perfect roundhouse kicks.
Yes.
And you could tell it was 2 different takes, and it just looked perfect. I was like, he just knock him down, and he tried to get back up and then hit him again. I was like, wait, is Van Damme still have it, Judd?
Yeah, but I still find that Stallone beat him too easy.
Yeah.
You could have given a little bit more more of a challenge, man.
No, I don't mind that because it's stupid action shit. No? But you still have
Yeah.
to make a movie like that properly, and they didn't even try to do that. And the third film was just a waste of time.
Never bothered to see it too, man. Never
Yeah,
bothered.
third one is a total waste of time. And main reason it had their Terry Crews in it. I was like, oh, this is bullshit.
Oh well, now
But
you tell me. That sounds
Terry
like
Crews,
bullshit.
Terry Crews is what fucking sell the first and second movie for
Of
me.
course.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you know, you just
Right.
hard it. So,
So, right. So, all right. So after that, actually before that, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie that he did called JCVD.
yes,
Yeah,
and
which I
I'll
saw.
now to bring that up. That was
And
pretty
I
damn
liked it. I saw what they were
Yeah.
going for with it. I kind of expected more out of it, but I realized, it's not that type of show where you
Yeah.
expect some kind of action. It's more like a sort of dramatic curiosity piece or whatever. But I liked it because
Yeah.
you really got to
It was
see
strange. It was
Van Damme really look in the mirror and be like, yeah, this is how I am now. And
Right, it was
I
that
kind of don't
kinda
like
weird-
myself how I am at, but let me just kind of come out and just express that. And that's what you did.
Yeah,
with
no,
this movie.
it felt like this weird postmodern experiment kind of thing you try to do because it's really like this self-reflective kind of scene. No?
Yeah.
That's why it felt like it was like, oh, he called it, that's the name of the film, or that's his initials, and then when you watch what it is, oh, it's a kind of comedy and it's him making self-referential stuff in it.
Yeah.
And
And
it
there
had
was
all
this
this.
moment where he kind of vent to himself and stuff, which was a great moment actually.
Yeah, it totally, you know, it reminded me of a little bit. Remember, it had a documentary with Mike Tyson that was made, and it was just, it was kind of like that. They you know, all these people who just was in the 90s and 80s, and they just totally collapsed in their career, and then
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
come back in the 2000s. That's basically what it was. It felt like that. It felt strange. It again, the strange postmodern kind of thing. But it did decide to put a narrative on it on top of that, which was unusual.
Yeah.
But I totally love that movie. Yeah, that movie worked totally for me.
Yeah, and for me at that time, I really saw that deep down inside, this man wants to be respected as an actor, not just, oh, I'm just a guy who does roundhouse kicks and does splits.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I'm a human being too.
Right.
So you could tell that, you know, with the success that Stallone was doing, you know, him doing this kind of revamped chapter of his career with the Expendable movies, and then with Creed, you could tell that, yeah, it's like, you know, Van Damme wants to do that same thing. Sure, he's not gonna be, you know, he's not grade Hollywood level, and, you know, God forbid, mightn't be, unfortunately. You know, you're not gonna see him be nominated for Academy Award. I could be wrong, but I just don't see that in the future. You know,
Right.
But yeah, I'm you know, just really glad to see Van Damme still putting in work. So coming into Kickboxer Vengeance, I just like, okay, saw the trailer for it, didn't really think of it much. The story itself is just so straightforward. You know, you've seen it a million times before. You have the white guy, is played by Alain Moussoui, I think. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. His name is Kurt Sloan. Wow, what a generic name, right? Kurt Sloan.
Yeah.
And he heads to Thailand to and I don't know, maybe I just need to do some research. Maybe I have to watch a couple of Vice videos on YouTube to really see. Because every martial arts movie I see set in Thailand always have like these fight clubs. They always have like these bars and these little underground fighting tournaments and stuff.
Right.
But anyway, Kurt goes into those because he's looking for this particular guy. His name is Tong Po, who's played, believe it or not, by Dave Bautista,
Oh, really?
who is
Nice.
another, who is the next WWE
Yeah.
wrestler turned big time actor. You know.
Yeah, no, I totally appreciated him in the last couple of movies, even though I hated it. I thought he was pretty
Oh,
awesome
yeah,
in
Spectre.
the last James Bond movie. You're right.
Yeah, and he was pretty okay in Riddick. Yeah, but that was
Yeah,
the first time I actually saw him on the big
and then
screen.
of course, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Galaxy, yeah,
Awesome.
which surprised me. Yeah.
I was totally blown away by his performance in that. I was like, they actually get this right. He totally hit the nail on the head of what the characters should do, and the approach. Yeah, granted, they make a couple of mistakes here or there with it, but
Yeah, but they played
yeah.
with his strengths too, you know, the
It
gruff
totally was,
voice,
yeah.
the large build, that kind of thing.
you're right.
Right. So in this case, he's playing this sort of Thai martial artist. He's a guy,
Right.
and he has like this group of martial artists that you know, that kind of follows his every orders and whatnot. So he's just there, and you know, they have these little tournaments, you know, away from the police. The police are kind of trying to track him down, not really track him down, but trying to arrest him now, basically. But he always kind of runs away. So anyway, so Kurt comes there seeking revenge against Tong Po because his brother, and we actually see this in a flashback, was paid a hefty amount of money to go to Thailand to partake in a particular fighting tournament. And it just so happens that he had to fight against Tong Po. It's one of those kind of cage matches as well too. A lot of gambling going on and stuff. So that will get me, and I'll just get to like one of the major flaws in the movie one time, is that yes, you've seen these cliches before. You've seen them before. Guy goes to foreign country seeking revenge against the person who killed his brother. We've seen that millions of times before.
Right.
But the way how they play it off is just so basic, so straightforward. It's kind of like you're telling me they couldn't even fix this up. So case in point. So you get this flashback scene. And it's kind of creative what they do with the show is that you kind of see Kurt in Thailand doing his thing. And then after he gets his ass cut from Tong Po, just a couple of lashes and whatnot, then we get to the flashback as to why he was there in the first place. So you see his brother, he actually wins some gold medal in some karate championship. He's there over by some gym and he has cake and everybody's like, yeah, congrats, man, yeah, woo! And we see this chick, Gina Carano, sorry. If you remember, she was in, she played Angel Dust in Deadpool.
Right.
Yeah. She and Ronda Rousey, I don't know, I just have like crushes on them. They are the hot, tough chicks. But anyway, so she kind of persuade this guy now to go to Thailand to partake in this tournament. And once again, it's always like the best tournament or the greatest tournament is to prove you're the best fighter in the world. And Kurt Brother's like, yeah, let me go, man. Yeah, give me the money, let me go. And you have a little banter between Kurt and his brother about, well, dude, why are you going for? You don't want to take this money and just spend the rest of your life with your wife and kid or whatever. It's like, no, I have to go. I have to prove to be the best. Right. So by the time Kurt reaches at the moment where Tong Po is like beating the crap out of his brother, and yes, not surprising, his brother gets killed in the tournament. What get me is that by the time he reaches is when Tong Po have his brother at a chokehold now. So he's like, get up, fight, whatever. And then, he snaps his neck. But what would have worked is that you have like a little moment before the fight, like backstage or whatever, where Kurt talking to his brother like, dude, you don't have to do this. Why are you doing this for, Some kind of humanity instead of just, well, I'm just going because script. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like there's no big deal for you to be doing this, but because the script wanted a reason for our hero to go seeking revenge, you have to have this moment. Right. So anyway, so he ends up running into Van Damme, who I believe is playing the same character from the original Kickboxer movie. Can't remember his name, and like I said, I never saw the original movie, didn't bother to. And Van Damme trains him, and basically the same sort of master student kind of thing. We get montage upon montage of Kurt doing all these like strenuous exercises and stuff. There's one moment where Van Damme like has two kids throwing coconuts at him, and he has to like break them with his elbows and stuff. That was cool. It was kind of funny. Well, and they even throw in this love interest. There's this police woman who's trying to investigate what's going on well too, and they just kind of throw in this kind of like romance that just came literally out of nowhere now. So imagine you're seeing like all these montage moments of Kurt doing his thing, and then you just cut to like a random scene of both of them making out on a bed. Okay. And I'm like, what? And then I think it's the second to last or last montage, you see her literally fighting, like training with him now with swords. I'm like, why was she? What? This kind of throw it in out of the blue. And apart from that, everything else you've seen before. The same sort of fight scene. They always run into some guy who wants to challenge them. Fights, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, the final battle between Tong Po and Kurt, which actually was really good. Well-paced and whatnot. The fight choreography was fantastic. It's just that story, though. That story is really the downfall of the show. But for me, it kind of brings up this issue that I've seen nowadays with martial arts films. More particularly, VOD martial art movies. I'll throw an example. Have you seen this movie, Mamadi Iron Fist?
That's with
RZA and Russell Crowe and Lucy Liu. And Batista actually was in that show. Wow, look at that. Yeah.
I forget. Yeah,
he played this sort of gold man, like his skin is turned to gold or something. I think so. Yeah. Right. So you're seeing all the cliches out there. I mean, I liked it for what it was, but it wasn't perfect. I knew that it wasn't perfect, especially Rosanna's acting. But because I'm a Wu-Tang head, I was just like, well, okay, well, this is like, I understand why RZA would make a movie like this, right? And it's actually him. I think he directed it. No, I think either he directed or wrote it, and he had Eli Roth assist him. And I always remember I told myself why Tarantino couldn't even come in and kind of assist with the writing, because the writing was sloppy. He tried to do so much in that one movie, and then it didn't work. It felt really choppy, really
Right.
all over the place. But the issue is that some of the cliches that were there in the show, the typical have to avenge master, get your arms chopped off, and then suddenly you get these iron fists, and somehow you're able to use them even though your arms chopped off, which totally took me out of the movie. But it's all these cliches, and you're seeing these things before, like in the Shaw Brothers movies of the 70s and stuff. But in this day and age, you could come a lot smarter, a lot more intelligent with these cliches. Just think of it like the zombie genre. You can't just have zombies just go around doing you have to bring in some kind of you have to make it smart. You have to make it clever, and that's what
Right.
the recent zombie movies did. But in the case
Right.
of like martial arts movies, especially that one, and the another example I'm gonna make now is the sequel to Man with the Iron Fist. Yes, there's a part 2,
Right, I remember that.
which I saw, cliche as hell. I enjoyed for what it was. I shut my brain off, that kind of thing. But it still play within those same conventions that you've seen over and over and over.
Right.
And you could kind of tell a mile away what's going to happen next. And in this one, it's the same thing. You really feel like, beat for beat, plot point for plot point, it's the same thing. But they just don't do anything really clever. And so for somebody like me who grew up on this genre, you have to kind of wonder if it's just intentional, if it's just, well, this is how the genre is. This is how the genre plays out. Guy has to have some kind of reason to go against this guy. He gets his ass cut. So, okay,
Right.
you have to find this old guy. Old guy had to come out of retirement and train him. Nothing really going on in the old guy's life, but somehow the old guy had to be like, yes, I will train you. And it's, these things that we've seen before, but it's kind of like, in 2016, you can't do something a little bit more innovative, a little bit more creative with it. It just has to be the same thing, and then playing it down to the lowest common denominator, and then you just kind of dish it out like, yeah, you're looking for a martial arts movie, here you go, and you watch it, it's like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the fighting, but story was just bland, and that's the problem with this movie. The story was just so bland. It was just so by the numbers. You know what's gonna happen next. Like, dude, I don't even have to spoil anything in the show. You just have to read 2 lines of what the synopsis is about, and you just figure out the whole story right here. But my issue is, and I don't know, maybe if you could answer it or not, is this the fate of the martial arts genre? Is it just always gonna play within these conventions, or is somebody gonna step
Right.
up and say, all right, let me just try something different, let me just do something different?
Right.
And it has been done before, but I just find like with the advent of VOD, you haven't really been seeing that much innovation in terms of martial arts movies. So the next Van Damme movie is going to be the same like the one before. Same Steven Seagal movie is going to be the same thing like before, and so on and so forth. And it's kind of unfortunate, So I don't know if you have anything to say about that before I get to my rating.
No, the martial arts genre for a while it's kind of like the horror genre. Is one of those things. It either good.
Oh,
but
what subgenre of the horror? Like slasher, zombie?
no, just the general horror genre, as in people just either accept it or reject it entirely. It
Yeah.
never have a middle ground for it. It's almost either you're gonna love this crap or you're gonna find it completely sucky. But
Yeah.
horror fans gonna just accept it regardless. And I
Exactly.
kind of see the same with that. It's
Yeah.
either you accept it or not. Very few people are gonna sit down and make it work. They may put some stuff or twist on it, like some sci-fi something maybe. But
Maybe.
that's it. They're not going to do anything interesting with it. It's going to be the same stuff over and over. And the sad part is that it's really it seems to be more a production problem more than just like a general movie problem. What I mean by that, it's a certain type of person makes his martial arts stuff, and then is a martial arts crowd make it, and it just tends to be quite insular in its culture. That's it. No one
True.
else is supposed to be part of this. You see it all the time. It is like all these fan films that's clearly martial arts, a bunch of like stunt guys who don't know how a camera really works, but they will just do these stunts, and they're really good at that, and that's it. You know, like it has Street Fighter fan films or something like that.
Yeah.
You see it in the ephemera and the you know, the ancillary, you know, subgenre and the subculture around in and around that. That's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in closing, I mean, there have been martial arts films in the past that, you know, managed to do things different. Like, I would
Right.
say, using Thailand, for example, Ong Bak, which came
Yeah,
out in
right.
2003, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
That
No,
actually did
that's
something
what I'm
different.
saying. But that's what I'm saying with the martial arts genre is that it's either a expand on a general action genre. So like you'll do a movie, but it'll be largely, I don't know what to call it, just voyeuristic. It's just designed to show off a particular talent.
Right. Or a
but-
particular martial arts style or skill.
Style or something, and then you film it, but you would never make a story, a particularly good story off of it. The only movies I really generally enjoy, and they're just generally good action films, but they have awesome martial arts in it, were the Raid films, right? The Raid films did a good job with that.
Yeah, they did.
There's a kind of spiritual sequel to the Raid film. I can't remember what its name itself right now, but it's basically Raid 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
and
going
it's
to look out
not-
for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not American. It's not. You won't get that from American filmmaking.
Exactly,
so-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like On Back, for example, sure, it's Tony Jaa flipping and kicking and doing stuff, but
Yeah.
there was this really interesting, you know, parallel between like his village and how life was there, and then you know he is forced to go into Bangkok to try and find this stolen Buddha head, you know.
Right.
And then
And
you
then-
have this little thing with his brother, and you know him not wanting to go back to the village, him wanting to stay in the city and try to make it there. And I like
Right.
that. It brought a sense of humanity into the show. It wasn't just action scenes for the sake of action scenes.
Right.
You could argue stuff like Crouching Tiger, Hero, and stuff like that.
Right.
Added story and depth and elements. But you see, like with this, something like Kickboxer Vengeance, it's a disposable movie, and
Right.
it knows that. It's one of those shows you just buy, from some bootlegger, or you just download it, or you stream it online, or watch it on Netflix. You watch it, you have fun, you have nothing to do on a Saturday. Because this is specifically what it is. It's a Saturday movie. You sit down, you have your bag of popcorn, you have fun with it, and then you move on with your life. You're not going
Right.
to remember this.
Right, okay.
Honestly, for me, I don't remember much about it. Just like I said, the action was decent. Acting was meh. Really wanted more out of Gina Carano. Didn't get much out of her, unfortunately.
Right.
Batista was just your standard villain who just sits and scowls, and if he's not scowling, he's getting up and breaking bones and just beating the crap out of people. That's his role. And then you have the star who just trying so hard to play this guy out for vengeance. And then the saving grace of the show hands down was Van Damme. I thought that he was great. He had this charisma to his character. He wasn't really you could tell that he wasn't taking things too seriously, but you could tell that he's glad that he's doing the stuff that he loves to do. But I could see that he was trying to do a kind of Creed-like kind of thing with, him trying to teach a young student and, the thing that he was doing in the old films and stuff like that. Like, I get that. But, of course, it just didn't have the drama. It didn't have the heart that Creed was. I could tell that they weren't going for that in the first place. But still, I don't know. Like I say, just as a martial arts fan, kind of give me something new,
Right.
in this day and age. So, for me, without rambling on any further, I will give this a decent 2.5 out of 5 stars.
All right.
See it if you really have to. If you love your martial arts movies, if you don't care who's the star, you'll have fun. If you're a Van Damme fan, then you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy this sort of reboot. I think this is a reboot of the franchise, apparently. Because
Okay.
yeah, we actually had other movies. We had I think 5 or 6 movies before this one. So why we're rebooting this one, I don't know. I guess if Rocky could be rebooted, I guess Kickboxer, a franchise that nobody cared about, especially me, could be rebooted too, I guess. So, but
Right.
other than that, though, it is what it is. It's just a disposable movie. You watch it, you think about it for about a half hour, and then you just forget about it. That's just how it is. But that's in closing. I just really hope that some director in the future who are really serious about martial arts film genre, especially one from the States, could actually come up with something really innovative, really creative, something that could push the genre forward, just like what Crouching Tiger did and Ong Bak did, and to extend the Raid did, I just think it's just really a matter of just being creative instead of just playing down to what we know and what we expect. So
Right.
in other words, trying to get like the non-martial arts fans to really appreciate it, which was what Crouching Tiger did so well, you know.
Right.
So I don't see anybody who hates martial arts movies really watching this movie or caring about it. They're not gonna care about it because it's just bland and substandard. But still, like I said, just waited for that next big movie to really push the genre to a next a new direction, or else it'll just be video on demand for the rest of its life.
Yeah, as I said, the only person going to pull that something like that off is somebody like a Gareth Evans, who did. Gareth Evans?
Gareth Evans who did the did the Raid movies. Yeah.
It's that guy. I mean, it's only them. Is that really really high energy type of director who really who just need to get a good budget and just make that shit work.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Everybody else, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
moving along. Now we will get to one of the year's most divisive movies.
Yeah.
It's one that I honestly wanted to see for the longest while. Wasn't really blown away by the trailer, and then for those who were following up my reviews before, and who actually read my written review, of Only God Forgives,
right,
which I absolutely hated.
right.
I wasn't that keen on seeing the Neon Demon, but after the reviews came out, and some people were seeing it as one of the best movies of the year, some people were saying it's one of the worst of the year. And I read the reasons why, and after seeing it, I kind of understand why it kind of split people down the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm talking about the Neon Demon. It's the latest film from Nicholas Winding or Winding. It's Winding.
Winding.
Yeah, Winding
Refn.
Refn.
Yeah.
Or as he wants to call himself now, NWR.
Yeah. Well.
Wow. Talk about. I don't want to call this. I don't want to call it pretentiousness.
All right, so I'm gonna start.
I don't want to call it pretentiousness, but the thing is,
yeah.
Oh my god! Every time that title shows up in the movie, at the bottom you're seeing NWR, so we have to know.
Yeah.
Yes, I directed it. I wrote it. I produced it.
Yeah. Here's the thing with this movie. Yeah. This was for me personally. It was Showgirls. It was Showgirls all over again.
This movie did not.
Here's the thing. For personally, the movie didn't work for me. Like I get where you
could have worked, but
I could totally understand why somebody would like this, but it totally screamed of pretentious art bullshit and just trying to be all shock value.
God, I didn't think you would have said that. I was thinking it, but
no,
maybe it's wrong of me to say that. Maybe
no.
Make that judgment.
It's a movie. It has a lot of great subtext in it, and it's not like in your face kind of subtext. It's there. Yeah. I kind of look at it as feminist surrealism in a sense. It have a lot of things to say with respect to that. If you want to, pull that meaning from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't get into this movie the way other people did. Let's be clear here. From a technical standpoint, it's very well made. I can't deny that.
Oh yes.
Really well shot. It had a lot of good scenes, but the acting in this was nonsense. Hated the acting in this.
I'll talk about the acting.
Absolutely hated Jenna Malone in this. She did not work, and she was just obnoxious and annoying the entire movie. Like I
understand why you would say that. Right?
I get why they try to do it because she's supposed to be the sociopath and kind of uncaring and thing, but it just came across as bad acting. That's what it came across like. And it's not like somebody let's compare it to say Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl, which had that kind of weird wooden acting, but then when you realize what she's about, the acting choices made perfect sense.
Yeah, and then this sort of dark, sort of ironic vibe to the movie anyway, it worked.
Right. But I don't know, the dialogue didn't work, everything felt wooden. And then king of wooden actors was in the fucking movie, Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
So that's why I couldn't really accept this movie for what it was. And then I think why I hated it is because they didn't really resolve any of the character arcs or anything like that. They just did a thing and then did the shocking thing at the end, and then that was it. And I personally hate that shit. But if you into that big shocking twist ending, and there's a big shocking twist ending kind of at the end, totally works.
Yeah, I'll talk about that too.
By the way, go ahead.
Yeah, so not to reveal too much about what the movie is about, I'll try to keep this sort of straightforward as to what it's about. So it's about this aspiring model. She's 16 years old. Her name is Jessie, played by Elle Fanning.
Yeah.
Right. And she moved to LA, she's seeking a goal of becoming this big time model. And she puts out a few pictures, one of which is displayed in this photo shoot that kind of opens the film. And these photos get into the hands of this particular model agency,
Yeah.
and they are just so amazed and so enamored by Jessie. They're like, yes, we have to pick her. And there was this one cool scene. It kind of sets up what one of the ideas of the movie, where Jessie has to kind of emulate that she's walking
Yeah,
along
yeah,
a
yeah, I get all
catwalk.
of that.
Right, and you have like these like a bunch of other girls just sitting down, and they have this sort of mannequin like, the way how they sit down is so still, like they
Yeah.
don't even move at all. And I get that, right? The whole artificiality of the
That is
modeling.
okay.
I get
So
that.
so I'm gonna give the devil its due. It does some people say, well, the film is very self-indulgent, but the thing is, what he's talking about is in itself self-indulgent, which is the whole fashion industry.
Yeah.
So that part of it worked. Or I was now just thinking, just kind of quickly remind me, the person who was the head of the fashion agency was Christina Hendricks, who was also in Drive. I now get that.
Oh yeah, she was in Drive. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
she was in Drive. She had a little part. She gets she brains blown out literally, which was hilarious. That part.
I
of the
love
movie-
Drive, but oh gosh, don't do that to me.
No, that was over the top, Judd, because like you actually see the brain fly out, which is so funny.
Yeah.
We'll
laugh. Forget this.
Yeah, no, because it's so over the top and ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the Verhoeven, and by the way, the same violence is the same Verhoeven style violence. Verhoeven showgirls. Refn kind of becoming the next Verhoeven a little bit.
Yeah. Good reference on that.
Yeah, I just noticing patterns.
So let's get back to the story there quick. I'm not gonna reveal everything. Don't worry yourself. Right. So she runs into this makeup artist called Ruby, played by your girl Jenna Malone. Yeah, haven't been the biggest fan of her. I actually liked her in Darko. That was the first time I ever saw the movie. But I know you have your second against her, but right.
I thought she was gonna do something interesting, and
No.
It has to come up.
Yeah.
It has to come up. She was supposed to be in, and she was in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. She was the side character, was doing the little bullet stuff.
Oh right, yes. Who was helping out Lois.
Yeah, that
forgot
bullshit.
that.
This is the director's cut.
But I like how I like how you kind of squeezed in your BBS there. That was
That
right.
movie sucked.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Right. So Jessie's now in this modeling agency now. She meets this photographer who is creepy as hell, but everything seems to be going along fine. But then she has these rivals who clearly don't like her, and it's this weird kind of parallel that they do in this show. So on the one hand, the people who doing the photography and stuff are so in love with her. It's like she's so pure and so virginal and stuff, right? And then on the other hand, you have like the models and themselves who working for the agency who kind of envy her because of how pure she looks. She hasn't done any lip reduction or whatever. Like she's so pure.
Yeah.
Cool. Then you have this side plot, where she's staying at this motel, and the guy who owns the motel is played by Keanu Reeves, who is just like the sleaziest. This is probably the sleaziest portrayal of a character I ever saw from Keanu Reeves, but just really underdeveloped. I will get to that in a bit. And then all this stuff going on with him, and he has kind of the eyes for her. I'll just leave it at that. Not really sure what's going on there. But then, things seem to be going a really slow-paced way. And then we get a few flashy visuals. I'm not going to say what they are. But it kind of has to do what the overall theme is, or maybe what the title is about. And then things just start to get considerably darker and darker and darker until that climax, which caught me off guard, which was like up on some straight, psychological slasher horror movie type of shit. And then you have the ending, which I know have and will turn off a lot of people because of this how messed up it is. But I'll say this much: it is not as, oh my god, I can't watch this. It's not like it will burn the whole tree of brain. Like it's not like that. But it's just so weird that it's kind of like off-putting, And then the show just ends and
No, here's the thing. I didn't the thing with the movie is that it's one of those movies that I didn't go in completely blind with. I didn't go in completely blind with because a lot of people talked about the shock value of it. So I knew it had, and I was like, okay, what? In my head, I was like, all right, let me run the bingo game of what could be so shocking in this movie. And I was like, all right, this had to be in
I
it.
was waiting for something to happen, to be honest.
Right, but then...
I'm sure this had me doing that, kind of waiting for things to happen.
I was trying to think of what exactly could shock me. And then that's the problem. It's one of those movies that just get hyped for its shock value because everybody said there's a shocking thing in this movie or there's a couple shocking things in this movie.
But for me,
and that's
when I saw those moments, I was just like,
that's spoiled.
What?
Yeah, no, wait, but that
scary or shocking, but it's like
but that is kind of
bizarre.
the problem. The problem is it kind of ruined it because I didn't go in completely blind. If I went in completely blind, it would have really catch me now.
Okay.
And then I was like, it had the opening one of the early dialogue sequences is in the party when they first meet each other.
Yeah.
When she said a certain question, she asked her a certain question. I'm like, all right, I know what it is. I immediately picked up what it was.
Oh, right.
That foreshadowed the whole thing. So I don't need to say it. There's a line. She asked her a certain question.
Right.
Are you this or are you this? That's it. That spoiled the whole movie for me. I was like, all right, I know what it is. So it kind of I kind of saw it coming. And that's why the movie just didn't work for me because it was just so transparent in that way though.
Right.
Again, it's a movie that started walking completely blind, and I didn't get a chance to do that unfortunately because of the hype around the film. You know, you hear people in Cannes was booing it and the movie was so shocking.
Then I had a standing ovation after that, which apparently happened with Only God Forgives, although I don't understand that because I imagine people booing after the movie ends because
Right. Whatever. And so it sadly it was one of those films I had to like go and see completely blind for me. And it wasn't one of those, sadly. If I went totally blind, I would have enjoyed more. But I kind of my brain didn't pick up. My brain did the calculations of what it was and I guessed it, which is sad, which is unfortunate. Right. You know, it's sad. It makes it impossible to shock guys like us at this point. It's a little too. We in the post-Salo, post-Serbian film, post-Serbian film, you know, type of filmmaking. So, like, you had a real come good to shock somebody.
Yeah. But I felt that what they were going for, like, how they were trying to shock us was just like, no, you just trying a little too hard here. No.
Right,
this is not
shocking.
It's weird, it's bizarre, but not shocking.
It felt a little too try hard. That's the problem. A lot of people was like, this is just pretentious try hard filmmaking. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like this show that came out the other day, Sausage Party. No, you know, it's one of those things.
You're trying to be so. Yeah, right. This is like the most the hardest R we could give this thing because it's so
and it was
but
it's one of those things that. Sorry to say that, you know, again in a post Robot Chicken, post Adult Swim world, that's kind of fall short. Sorry to say it. I suppose for a younger crowd who never see the shit before, I suppose it'll be impressive for them. And again, it has some interesting workable subtext, especially with a lot of feminist stuff and like how you see women, how women should be treated, how women see each other. You know, that whole thing with youth and, you know, the relationship, especially in the fashion world now.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, this movie just didn't work for me in that way. It's well made, but just didn't stick and it didn't work. And it just tried to shock me. And I hate when people try to shock me. I prefer you actually pull it off than try it or don't try at all. I know try it, it's just not work at all. So whatever.
Understood. Well, let me just share my thoughts on this show before we get to our ratings, right? So, like I said, wasn't the biggest fan. Sorry, I'm not even gonna say wasn't the biggest fan. I hated Only God Forgives.
Oh really?
I hated. No, I mean visually it looks so good, but I didn't like how the characters were portrayed. None of them were likable. They were all detestable. I hated how, you know, the violence was used in the film. You know, it was just kind of to enhance the reason why we shouldn't like or care about any of the characters. Even right down to Mr. Ryan Gosling. I did not care for him. I hated him.
Yeah.
Throw any great visual at me, but if you give me characters I don't care about, then I don't care. Right? I will say this much about the Neon Demon. They were likable characters. They weren't properly fleshed out, unfortunately. Especially its lead. Like, okay.
Yeah, but she didn't. Yeah, the problem is that they didn't give her arc, and then characters just vanished for the sake of the story, and then they ended there. No? And I hated that I get why you had to end it, quote unquote, there, because something shocking like that will never have a payoff.
Yeah, right.
Could never have a payoff if you follow up on it. Like, they won't have put any extra scenes to make sense of that, or she get arrested at the end or anything like that. Yeah. You have to cut it there. And then you have to put a bunch of symbolism just to sell it now. So she bleeding in the moonlight, and, you know, you know, well, I don't want to spoil it because I was going to say something which will spoil.
Don't spoil.
Right.
But getting back to her character for a sec. Like, I understand, like, the way how Elle Fanning portrays the character. I thought that the acting was good. Not great, but good. I like the particular moment where she's kind of talking about, like, she can't sing, she can't dance, she can't act,
Right.
but I'm pretty, so
Yeah.
hopefully that could get me somewhere. I get that,
Yeah.
but you're watching this character go through what she's going through, and you're kind of wondering what is it gonna lead up to, where it's gonna lead up to, but the pacing of it is just so slow, so glacial actually.
Yeah.
And then somewhere halfway into the show, I'm not gonna say what happens, you get, like I said, well, how you said, the symbolism part. This is a moment where you're kind of telling yourself, okay, I see what they're trying to go for. 1 minute she's virginal, next minute she could become dark and evil, but they never really explain why.
Yeah,
It's just like, well, it's
follow
this
through.
genre, so you have to expect it to happen. So it kind of happens, but you're thinking it's going to go full circle, and then no, they just kind of cut it. Boom.
Right.
It does not. Her character arc is just cut off right there. So
Right.
I was expecting that, because of the title, that she would become maybe the Neon Demon. And spoiler alert, we don't understand. There's no explanation as to what that title means. You could go deeper into analysis.
Yeah,
and
that's
try
the
to figure
problem.
out,
It's
but
one of
they
those.
don't say
You see, that's
what
why I'm not a fan of filmmaking like this, because it's one of those fallback you need to interpret bullshit, and it encourages sophistry.
right.
That's what I don't like about this kind of filmmaking. So the Neon Demon could just be the whole industry itself, maybe. I don't know. Or
it could be, I guess.
or
Well,
Hollywood, or I don't know, the fashion, or whatever, like just entertainment, or being an
Yeah.
entertainment, or whatever.
right.
And I think that's one of my problems with it. It's just so free association that
But does it need to be like that? Why can't I just say
That's
what I
the
had to say
problem.
straightforward?
But that's the problem. That's the
Right.
problem. Is that it's one of those, again, it's pretentious art bullshit. You can't say it straightforward, because then everybody will say, "Oh, your film sucks." Then if you say it straightforward,
Right.
compare that now to something like to Hello High Water, which is a pretty damn straightforward story, but it's so damn well made. Look,
Exactly, and there's
I'm not one of those-
layers to it.
I don't want to get into this big debate about if something need to mean this and what is subjective and objective and all that nonsense. My point is that I do not like when you leave things in that open bullshit way. It comes across as a room for sophists to exist in. That's my problem. So if you do crap, then you get to come up with some bullshit explanation to say why this movie is actually brilliant and I'm an idiot. That's
Yeah.
what it is. It's one of those. That's
Right.
what I like about movies like this, because it's almost intentional to encourage these jackasses to come forward. Whatever.
Yeah.
Point is,
All right. Sorry. So I'll continue. Right. So
yeah.
you talk about Jenna Malone's character for a bit.
Right.
Now, I haven't been following up in her career, so I can't say that this is her best performance ever. I can't say that. I will say that this performance was actually quite challenging. Like, you could tell that. Especially that one particular moment that they tried to pull off as quote-unquote shock. And it caught me off guard. Like, I saw it and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I was just like,
No, Here's what I like about Jenna Malone. She has a permanent, DreamWorks have the snark face. Every character, DreamWorks, DreamWorks characters, every DreamWorks character is on the poster. There's a whole joke about DreamWorks characters on their poster. They have a snarky face.
Right.
She has a permanent snark face on her. That millennial, she's smarter than you because she's younger and knows
I see.
computers.
What do you think is with her? I get your point. It's like she looks the same way her character was in Donnie Dark. Every show she looks just like that.
Yeah, the same snarky looking face. She always have a
Like,
smirk
I
on
know
she
more
face.
than you, Donnie. Yeah.
Yeah, a dumb smirk on she damn face.
Yeah.
And I just can't stand on that. No, it's fine because she's playing the role to fit. But then she do a role like this, and it's like, this is just obnoxious too.
Yeah.
She's pretty damn obnoxious in this movie.
And the thing is, I'll really blaming it on the pacing on the show. You're seeing these things happen. You're seeing like the conversation, especially like with Jesse and Ruby, right? And you're kind of waiting for something to happen. You kind of waiting to figure out, okay, where is this going? Where is this going? And then all of a sudden things might just turn like unexpectedly. So it doesn't really build up properly. It just kind of happened. The character kind of changed, and you're like, what? Why?
Right.
But of course, people, like you were arguing, well, it's subject to interpretation. Maybe if you watch it over and you see it unfold again, then it all makes sense. I doubt that. But anyway, her performance, I mean, she was like I said, the performances were okay. The one the one character I was really turned on by was Keanu Reeves. Like, I felt that it could have been a lot more from him. They were just
Right.
there because they just wanted some kind of male antagonist, somebody to scare Jesse into falling back with the models and with the girls, because men are evil and all that kind of stuff there, because
Right.
feminist surrealism, as you call it. And as I mean, it's kind of like having his character be like that just made him so wooden and one dimensional. And then when you really think about it, the guys themselves, the male characters in the show, with the exception of, I could say, the photographer who was with Jesse from the beginning, he actually had kind of like a personality, but everybody else you could tell, like, it's just all about just the male gaze. And that's another theme that is explored heavily in the show. The male gaze, how men are looking at models,
Right.
I mean, I have my preference, I have my taste in women, but like, I would look at Elle Fanning and be like, okay, she's nice, she's pretty, okay. But to them, it's just like, she's like Mother Teresa. Sorry, not Mother Teresa. She's like the Virgin Mary or some kind of thing like that.
Right.
And
No, that's
the way how they
that's
kind of visualize that was kind of cool.
But that's the idea they were kind of going for. Especially she's young, she white, she really looks like a model type. But the big factor is that she does no work now. She had no work done on her.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had a whole thing with it now. And then she herself was kind of snarky and obnoxious in her own way. So,
yeah, especially in the second half. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I don't.
But anything like the shocking well, I don't want to call it a climax. The shocking twist takes place, and then it kind of takes the film in this whole other direction.
Right.
Leading up to the end, and I don't know, like, you see how the end happens, and you're kind of wishing, okay, that's it. That's how you're gonna end this. You can't just like drop the mic and just walk away from your performance. It's like, yeah, that's it. That's the end of my show. Interpret that however you want to. And then on top of all that, the end title sequence, the closing title sequence. You're watching the visuals in that, and it has absolutely nothing to do with what happened before.
Yeah. He dedicated to some person. I don't know who it was.
I assume it's Liv. I assume it's Liv Ullmann, who,
Okay.
and I'm going to get all film geeky here, starred in the famous Ingmar Bergman movie Persona.
Oh,
which
really?
kind of like was what this show is about. Characters looking one way, and then as soon as they're influenced by something or someone, they become something or someone totally darker.
Okay.
Now, that sort of split personality was what Persona was about.
Right.
And all right,
Because the movie I'm thinking about, and I just think it just did Black Swan, but much worse. That is what
I
this
was
felt
thinking
like.
Black Swan throughout this whole
Yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Until
it's-
that twist, and then it was like,
It's Black Swan, but much
Yeah.
worse. Like this is not how to do this now.
Right.
I don't know. This movie didn't work.
There's a few more things I just want to say. Right. So
Right.
visual wise, this is superb. Like,
Right.
the cinematography, just how shots are, put together stuff looked excellent. Probably the
Right.
best cinematography I see. One of the best movies I've seen this year in terms of cinematography. Right. I didn't say best movies of the year. Right. Music was great as well too. It has that sort of dark electronic music kind of vibe. I like the music for that. Direction is on point. Like I said, the acting was okay. It's just the characters were just so, they could have been developed a lot more, especially Jenna Malone's and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, the
but
the boyfriend does disappear.
yeah, the thing is, and then like character arcs, like I say, are just done. Like, you don't see characters again. It just the film just comes to a complete halt, and then they just try to figure out, okay, we have like 10-15 minutes again. How are we gonna end this? Okay, let's just have these couple of moments, and we do it in such a way where you have to see through the imagery and trying to figure out the metaphors and what they have to do with all that. And fine if you want to do that, but the story leading up to it have to make sense in relation to how it ends. It feels like you're watching this film and then it just stops, and then you're kind of watching the last 10-15 minutes of another movie that just happened to star a couple of the actors. But anyway, I'll just make this reference to another director, one that I look up to a lot, David Lynch.
Right.
Now I see NWR as he wants to be called now, trying to be this generation's David Lynch. He wants to make these challenging he wants to make these personal movies, right? But he wants to do it in this sort of abstract, this really unique kind of way. Fine, cool. And the first hour of the show really felt like I was watching a David Lynch movie. Even right down to when they went to the coffee shops and the way they were talking to each other, that sort of
Right.
like uncomfortable silences in between the conversations and stuff. I was getting this Lynchian kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say is that
Yeah.
is whether or not you want to accept this. Now again, you could either say it's that kind of weird, dry, abstract stuff.
Yeah.
With the dialogue, and you can accept the dialogue, and because the characters are essentially sociopaths, you totally get that, right? Again, Gone Girl does this really, really well. Or you end up getting showgirls. To me, it more fell in the line of showgirls.
Yeah, but the problem with showgirls, you could argue, is that was exploitation.
What's the difference? This feel like the
This
same?
one was bordering on it. It's just like in the second half, really felt like exploitation.
I died
Just
with,
on
but
a
to me,
weird
this movie just felt really sleazy. It's just it's better made, but it had the same kind of sleaze, to me.
Yeah, you could argue with that, especially the way how the female characters are being, objectified and.
No, and it's one of those cases. No, I agree with you in the sense it's one of those cases of, well, what's the difference between porn and erotica? Well,
I see.
That argument now. Well,
Yeah.
it when you see it. It's sometimes it's arty. If I decide to have, just ass bouncing on each other, balls hitting ass in a shot, and and you're just hearing low butt rock music playing in the background, you'll call that porn. But if I just decide to put classical music and the characters
put some
moving all
flashy
slowly,
visuals, that's erotica.
and the characters moving all slowly in slow motion, that's erotica. It's just it don't feel any different. This felt like sleaze, and I couldn't get into it the same way other people did.
Yeah.
I get why some people love this movie. I totally get it. Even like some internet critics who I tend to respect their opinion, they love it. I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't.
But I would say this much though, right. So just getting back to the whole Lynch thing again.
Right.
So, like his films, especially stuff like post Twin Peaks,
Right.
and I would say Wild at Heart, Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me, which was probably the worst movie I've ever seen from him.
Right.
Lost Highway, which I haven't seen, but I heard a lot of people are very polarized by it. But it's when he hit with this show in 2001, Mulholland Drive, which kind of remains my top, my favorite
love it.
village movie, where it had all of his mannerisms, all of the weird sort of, if you watch it 3 more times, you could interpret it however you want to. But the way how the story was, how it was structured, and because it had great acting, it had a story that you could follow along. And yes, there's a twist that takes place in the middle, and then the movie takes this complete 180. But because of what's happened before, and because you're so invested in what's going on in the first half, you can't help but be like, okay, so what happened in the beginning kind of comes back in the end. It forces you as a viewer to try to figure it out by yourself, and that's why that movie is so successful. That's why today it's revered as probably one of the best movies of the 21st century.
Right.
Because of what it did in terms of narrative, just being able to do that.
Yeah.
But really, it's all boils down to the characters and being invested in the characters. And for Neon Demon, I wasn't really invested. I mean, I kind of understood where Jesse was coming from, trying to make a name in the modeling biz and realizing that's not what it cracked out to be and all that stuff. I get that, and yes, if this is a criticism about how how fake and how superficial and how plastic the modeling business, okay, and it could have just ruled with that to the end, but it kind of just goes in this kind of weird, kind of horrific kind of vibe, and it just kind of cuts that point down, and then it just uses all these kind of like freaky imagery. I'll leave it at that.
Right.
And you're supposed to tell me, so especially the way how it ends, which was kind of like, that's how they're gonna end this. And you tell me that is supposed to tell me, oh well, this is supposed to be a critique of the fashion industry, because it's all about doggy dog and how people don't care about that.
That what I'm trying to tell you is that's what I say, it's too free association, and if you want to interpret it like this and this, that, I don't like this kind of stuff, because it's an argument that it's an argument that invites sophistry.
Yeah.
That's my problem with this kind of movies. I get why you like this. Anyway, you'll get to read it in a minute, right? And overall, it just really felt like, okay, NWR, as I'll call him, was trying to say something, and he could have just said it the way he was going at it, Right.
But then it's like, well, you know what? People can expect something from me from now. By now, I mean, people expect, like you see, like David Lynch. People don't go into a David Lynch film now expecting to see something straightforward. You have to get something weird and stuff, but it has to work within the point in the story, right?
Yeah.
Or at least kind of heighten what's being said. In this case, it's just like, well, okay, I'm making this point here, but you know what this film could need now? Some violence, some
Right.
freaky stuff, some R-rated stuff. Just because I could get away with this stuff and I make Drive and I make, so it comes off way more pretentious than it could have been. It could have just
Right.
told a story, used the visuals and stuff, but still, that last half hour was just like, you know what? I just need to shock people because people expect that from me, you know? Instead of just telling your point, you just have these moments there just because. So they're just there as shock value and nothing else. It doesn't add anything to the overall point, the overall narrative. And
Right.
I felt that really, bogged down the movie. But I will say this much though. I did not hate this show as much as Only God Forgives. I thought it was personally better.
Okay.
I do see myself personally going back and watching this movie over again just to see what I missed out in it. And I do
Right.
see a lot of people doing this after they see the show. They will go back. I do see this being a sort of cult film. Later on, people are going to come with analysis. Even if you go up on YouTube right now, people are going to be like, well, this is what these images mean and all that kind of stuff. But still, I felt that the images were just thrown in there for the sake of being there, just to kind
Right.
of throw the viewer off. And then they come up with all these different reasons. And then,
Yeah.
but to NWR's perspective, is just, I just want this thing to be abstract and weird because I'm abstract and weird.
Right.
And then you can't help but call this thing pretentious because
Right.
that's how it comes off.
Yeah.
So rating wise, for me, I was going to give this a 3, but I will give this a strong 2.5 to a light 3.
Right.
See it if you really have to. You may appreciate it a lot more
Right.
than I did. You'll love the visuals. I'll say that much. The music is on point. Acting is so-so. But still, I just felt that the visuals were just thrown in for the hell of it. Just to kind of throw the viewer off too much. And then, of course, the shock value stuff just didn't work. It was just
Right.
there for the sake of being there. And it just really cut what could have been a very intriguing and thought-provoking movie. So,
Right.
what's your rating?
Right.
Ricardo?
Yeah. I kind of on your side with this. It's one of those movies that year one film students gonna absolutely love because of the big twist ending. No, but I just couldn't get into this. It didn't work. It didn't have. My thing is that I need my. I might be a simpleton, but I need my straightforward character arc resolved resolutions, and I did not get that, and I hated it. Just characters just disappear for the sake of the story. They cut
Yeah.
it in a real awkward place.
Narrative. That's what they could have
Yeah.
worked on, the narrative
Yeah.
and the characters.
Yeah,
That's all.
they cut it in a bad place. It didn't work. All of the visual stuff, it looked great, but I was like, okay, this don't have a purpose, and it's just you being an artist for artist's sake, which I could appreciate sometimes, but this wrongs, I just didn't appreciate it. I didn't feel this movie at all. I give this a high, because of how everything looked good and it's really well shot, blah, blah, blah. I still give it a high CC8.
Okay.
I
Great.
give it a high CC8 because it gets points on its mark. And, I think, if I remember correctly, he's supposed to have one of his eyes supposed to be damaged, or I think he's supposed to be colorblind or something like
Oh,
that.
in real
partially
life?
color.
Really?
Yeah. So some kind of weird disability going on with him. So he does to pull off these colors would be kind of interesting. He's supposed to see things different in a way. Whatever. Point is, this movie didn't work narrative wise. Again, I agree with you. It's a little better than Only God Forgives, which is
It's
a movie I
way
didn't hate.
better than Only God Forgives.
Is a movie I didn't, I remember not hating all that much, but this was better than that. So whatever. Still not as good as Drive. I love Drive.
Yeah, Drive will always be his great
Yeah.
movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wanted. Whatever.
So I don't know. NWR clearly is in the David Lynch realm of filmmakers,
I don't know.
where everything has to be all personal and you have to dig deep
I
to try to figure things out.
That's,
But
I can't really sweat that. But to me, if you have a budget, you should do something different with this. And I'm not in the mood for that art stuff. If you know what you're doing, but whatever. Teach his own. Get them the thing. It's not like it's a big complaint.
Yeah.
And movies like, again, I suppose it just have to appeal to you, because stuff like actually doing some reading on the philosopher Arthur Danto, and he kind of gets into the cycle of philosophy and the history of philosophy and the history of art philosophy, art theory in particular. And is that whole is whoever like it and who in a position of power and money to like it. So whatever, you'll have to move.
But
Just move.
yeah, but this last thing I will say though, it is amusing though that in this day and age, and I have to rate NWR for this, just being able to make films like this, hit or miss as they are, and
Yeah.
still getting an audience, still getting people to talk about this stuff, still being able to make movies like this in in
Yeah,
2016. It is admirable.
as I say with the shock value stuff is that shock value just come in cycles. Like, you just have people just go into a kind of depravity stage, and now you
Last
kind
one,
of
Trey. Anyone?
right, and then you come back out of it with a kind of new, kind of prudish kind of culture. And right now we kind of enter in a new, kind of going back into that phase of a kind of prudishness. So stuff like this, I can imagine being shocking for younger people, maybe. But my generation is like, I was in a depravity culture again, the Adult Swim, anything goes kind of 4chan culture.
Yeah.
And now that is not the case. We seem to be entering a new stage of prudishness. So this movie it's good timing to cater to that crowd. It's like, hey, look how shocking this is. Look how shocking this is to people who, not accustomed to shock value stuff in that way. I don't know. I just kind of speculated there.
All right. So finally, the moment you have been waiting for.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Luke Cage.
Yeah, Luke Cage, baby.
Yeah, which is the latest Marvel Netflix TV series. It
Yeah.
came out Friday, October 30th.
Right.
13 episodes. Check them out. Well, it's created by let me see if I get the name correct. Chio Hodari Coker. Right. It's based off of the Marvel character Luke Cage.
Yeah.
We were
Power Man himself.
Yeah, Power Man. Yeah. Ever since the Jessica Jones season 1 came out last year, which we reviewed, which had Luke Cage as a character.
Yeah.
As not a main character, but really a side character.
Yeah, he was introduced. Yeah.
Yeah, played by Mike Coulter, who returns again in this one.
Yeah.
We were hearing buzz that we were getting this official Luke Cage series, and it was going to lead up to this Defenders TV series. I believe it's coming up right after we get Iron Fist, right? Which is the next so it's
I think it's Iron Fist first, then Daredevil, then Defenders. I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah. Right. I'll have to look that up. Right. So for those who don't know, as he was kind of established in Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, he lives in Harlem. He's a former convict. He has superhuman strength and unbreakable skin.
Right.
What we should kind of call it bulletproof skin. And he's basically the guy that if he notices somebody getting robbed, he's gonna try and save that person, and of course they're gonna try and shoot him. I know he's gonna do his thing, bend the gun, beat the guy up, and save the person. He's that type of person. He looks out for the everyday man and woman. That's his character basically. And with this series here, well, before you get to talk about what you liked and didn't like about it, the story pretty much kind of involves him going up against this gangster pretty much called Cornell Stokes, or Cutmouth as he's called, as his nickname. He's played by once again I'm gonna try and pronounce his name.
Yeah, Mashallah Ali.
Yeah, Mashallah Ali, who I remember from House of Cards. Great character as well there too.
Yeah, he has a couple movies. The first show I know him from was the 4400, which I really liked.
All right.
That's a show
but have not seen it.
Yeah, that was like about 10 years ago. But it's a show I really, really enjoyed. He was, of course, Benjamin Button, Mockingjay, the Hunger Games franchise.
Right.
Yeah,
yes.
House of Cards.
Yeah.
He's in currently he's in a movie that has really, really have big Oscar buzz. A movie called Moonlight.
Oh yes, I've been hearing about that show.
Yeah, he's gonna be in that. So most likely when we see Moonlight, we'll talk about that. Crusader Jones, he was in a bunch of shit. Yeah. But yeah, he's an actor that I always rooted for. He really underrated actor, great character actor in my opinion.
Yes, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah. He was in another show, Alphas, if I remember that. There was a kind of X-Men. Sci-fi. It was a kind of grounded X-Men report.
No, I mean it was from the Sci-Fi channel.
Yeah. Right. But it was okay. All
right.
Yeah, and he had a bunch of great little character roles, and he was great in this. I actually really liked him in this.
Yeah. What else I'll say about him? Right, he's the he just so happens to be the cousin of a local politician named Mariah Dillard, played by the incomparable Alfre Woodard. Great actress.
And this is interesting because this is her second MCU character. Remember, she played that mom in Civil War.
Yes. Oh yes. Right? Yes. Yeah. I forgot about that.
The thing is, I'm trying to think of which other people had multiple roles in the MCU though. I can't think of one, but yeah, I get the feeling that that's a big casting little hubbub over that.
Yeah.
Well, I get the feeling that she was casting this earlier, and then she probably did a thing to get a role in to do the double casting. So
Okay.
I get the feeling there's a bit of an oversight on Marvel's part there.
Yeah.
Just have a double casting end up going on. But
Right.
whatever. She played two different characters. It's not the same character.
Right. So we right, okay. Right. So we also have some other characters. We have Mercedes Knight, or a.k.a. Misty Knight.
Yeah, they bring
who,
in Misty Knight.
Yeah, is a character from the MCU as well too.
Yeah, popular,
Sorry,
but
from the comic book universe. Sorry.
Yeah. She's a popular Marvel character. Yeah.
Yeah, played by Simone Missick.
Yeah.
Great performance by her, by the way.
Yeah.
An actor that I was familiar with, and the thing is, when I first saw him, I was like, I know this guy from another show, but I can't remember. Is Theo Rossi, who I remember him from is Sons of Anarchy, great show from FX.
Yeah.
And he played Hernan Shades Alvarez.
Yeah.
Very shady, as you could tell by the nickname.
Right.
We also have Rosario Dawson, who returns.
Yeah,
This is like the third show that she's in as
Claire
Claire Temple.
Yeah, which is a character we thought is night nurse, but not necessarily night nurse, so we're not sure. But they, again, is one of those. I get the feeling it's one of those weird miscasting things because Doctor Strange has the character who was a night nurse character in the comic, and I forget her name. This girl playing the girl in Doctor Strange. But she fills the role of night nurse much better. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
She comes back as Claire Temple, a character who comes back and is he played a character in the show we reviewed last week, which is Ron Cephas Jones.
Right.
He plays Bobby Fish, which is a nice little joke to the famous chess champion Bobby Fischer.
Yes.
There was a really great movie called Pawn Sacrifice starring Tobey Maguire, I think. Or
Not familiar with that show.
yeah, basically it's a chess movie that came out 2-3 years ago. No, about 2 years ago. Called Pawn Sacrifice. Anyway,
all right.
Bobby Fischer, but the character plays chess in the game, and this is the guy who was Romero from Mr. Robot.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was nice.
Yeah, and he was also in the Get Down that we talked about as well.
Right. Yeah, he was in that as well. He's another character actor I like.
Yeah. He had no. It's just the way. I don't know, something about his face, the way how he, the little facial expressions he does. I like that. That was cool.
Yeah.
If you guys are familiar with The Wire, aka the best show ever, you will see some familiar faces.
Yep.
Two of which are Frankie Faison.
Yeah.
He played I'm not sure if he was involved with the police, but he was basically like kind of like the middleman between the police and like the mayor. Very shady character as well too, but in this case he plays Pop. And I'll get to hip hop references in a bit.
No,
so
but was
Pop, the owner of this barbershop in Harlem.
Right.
And we also see Sonja Son.
Yeah.
Yeah, who played Kima from The Wire. In this case, she plays one of Misty's superiors.
Yeah.
Right. So before we get to what you thought about it, hip hop wise, the music is done by two of my favorite hip hop producers. First being Ali Shaheed Muhammad, who is well known from my favorite rap group of all time, A Tribe Called Quest. He was one of the guys who did the music. Well, he and Q-Tip used to produce the music for that during that era. Right. And we also have Adrian Young.
Right.
Great producer. He's very steeped in terms of like 70s music, soul, jazz, funk, psychedelia kind of music. He did music for shows such as Black Dynamite, the TV show and the movie. He also produced, in my opinion, the best rap album, I believe it was 2013 and 2014, which was 12 Reasons to Die. He did like the full score for that, the full music for that, which was like Ghostface Killer and him doing that. And it was just really like a concept album, them doing this sort of crime story kind of thing, but it just has like supernatural elements. Which kind of, in a way, this series isn't, steeped in supernatural stuff, but it has that sort of, 70s vibe about it.
Yeah.
So Ali Shaheed and Adrian, joined forces, and he brought this really funky, really soul-drenched soundtrack. It really sounds like something out of an exploitation movie from the 70s. Sorry, a blaxploitation movie from the 70s.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, looking at the Wikipedia page right now, and they brought up a term that is really the best way to describe this series, which is neo-blaxploitation. It really feels
that's what it felt
this
like.
modern day take on that. Also too, We have like a number of musical performers. We have the Delphonics who collaborated with Adrian Young, who collaborated with the Wu-Tang before. We have Method Man for the Wu-Tang Clan. I'm not gonna say which episode he was in. You have a particular song from the Wu-Tang Clan. Fuck it, I'll just say it. Bring the Ruckus.
Yeah.
And the moment where that song is used is so incredibly awesome. It's like the best thing I have. I was just like, oh my god, this is so incredible, right? We have Faith Evans. We have when last you heard about her. We have Raphael Sadiq, who collaborated with Q-Tip before from A Tribe Called Quest. Who else? And also the titles of each episode is actually a song title from famous hip hop duo Gangsta.
Right.
Yeah. So the first episode is like Moment of Truth, which I'll tell you one time, Ricardo, is arguably, in my opinion, the best gangster album ever made.
Right.
Came out in 1998. A lot of great songs from that. And the final episode is You Know My Steez, which was the first single from that album. And the funny thing is, as I'm talking about gangster, let's just mention it one time. In that final episode, the opening sequence, if you listen to it if you listen to the soundtrack carefully, you would hear the song "You Know My Steez" playing in the background.
Right.
Right. And also there's a particular episode, episode 9, which is called DWYCK, which was a popular song, like probably one of Gangsta's biggest hits. That was from their previous album, Hard to Earn, which spawned their best song to date, which is Mass Appeal. I was always wondering why it didn't name any episode in this season Mass Appeal, but whatever. Mass Appeal is still a great song, still their best song ever. But anyway, and they mentioned this particular line, Misty did, where she's given a can of lemonade, and the guy who gives the lemonade says, lemonade is a popular drink. And she says, and it still is.
Right.
That's a line from that song. Lemonade is a popular drink, and it still is.
Right.
So I was wondering.
I'm gonna talk about. Here's the thing. You remember I mentioned that. That means it makes a lot more sense of why I'm gonna explain a problem I had with the show. But
okay. So I see those things as being like Easter eggs and it being more appealing in terms of 90s hip hop. I get that, and that's fine. But what I'm wondering is that for the other episodes, so we have like titles like Step in the Arena, Suckers Need Bodyguards, Who's Gonna Take the Weight, Code of the Streets, songs like that. Right. And I'm wondering if at any point in time in those particular episodes, if the song was played maybe in some car or something, or something like that. Maybe I just didn't pick up on it. Maybe it's not just a line. Cause I was thinking at first maybe it's just like a lyric that shows up in the dialogue, but then I was like, okay, maybe not. Maybe it's just the song is playing in the background somewhere. I didn't pick up on it. So I guess that's for the Easter egg hunters out there. And then finally, just a slight little thing that I know a lot of people didn't pick up on, but just the Pop's barbershop. The character of Cottonmouth, in his room, he has this portrait of Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. with a crown. Awesome. I actually want that for my house, by the way. And if you remember from his song Warning, there's a line where he says, "It's my nigga Pop from the barbershop told me he was in the gambling spot. He heard the intricate plot." So when I heard Pop's barbershop, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's a reference to that
that's your
song."
reference.
It's like, cool. I get that.
It had a couple of things. Well, it had a little reference point to Jadania. Jadania was in the
yes.
Yeah, that little
his
thing.
performance, That was a decent one. I didn't think he had it in him to be that gritty. I was like, well,
that song's a badass song, That you ever see the video for it? Hail to the Chief.
No, I haven't actually.
Right, I thought the purpose of it was to fit to the story, even though it was him. You could tell he was just testing out in the club. Yeah. Then like it was fit into the overall metaphor and narrative and the theme of the motif of Cottonmouth's character. No?
Yeah, and as I mentioned, one thing that they do very similar to The Wire is that for those who follow up or who have watched The Wire, every season finale has a climax where it's a montage of scenes of what happened to all the characters that were involved in the particular season, and it's always set to a particular song. You don't hear if you do hear music, like hear songs, it's usually like playing in a radio or playing in some store or whatever, but usually it's in those season finales where you hear a song play from start to end, and there's this really excellent montage of what's going on with all the characters. So they kind of replicate that in Luke Cage, where every time there's a performance, it kind of cuts back to what's going on with a particular character or two, and then it was cut back to the performance inside of Cottonmouth's club, and
Right.
it's just that sort of back and forth thing. I thought that was really clever.
Right.
So that's all I have to say, just in terms of just stuff about the show itself. But like I said before in the intro, there were things that you liked and things you didn't like. So what were the things that stood out and didn't stick out to you?
Right. So the stuff. Okay. Some stuff I obviously liked. Just the general vibe of the story, music.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Especially that team song. That team song is hard. I love that team
Yeah.
song.
Everything. It's well done in terms of.
That's Adrian Young's style of music. If you're familiar with his music, that's how he does that.
Right. The arc totally works for the most part. Luke Cage, good acting, good.
Mike Coulter kills.
Yeah, he's solid as Luke Cage. So the general approach is quite good, I thought, and I liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. Here's the problem I had with some of the dialogue. It felt a bit hammy and strange, especially Misty Knight in particular.
I would agree with that. Yeah, there were some moments where it's like, okay, either they self-aware that they're in a comic book show, or
that's the thing. It felt
hamming it up a little bit too much. It doesn't sound real.
It felt way too comic booky in my opinion. And then the second big problem is that it didn't have a good standout villain. I liked Cottonmouth, I liked Diamondback, but I didn't love Cottonmouth and Diamondback. Compared to Kilgrave and the Kingpin, they didn't hold a candle to those two characters. And they could have done a better arc by I don't know, they should have written those characters better, especially Cottonmouth. They could have given Cottonmouth a little more to do overall, but it just didn't work for me. And him versus Luke Cage, they could have done more with that. It was good, like the little he had, and I thought Mashal, he was solid, solid actor.
He was definitely.
Yeah, really good. I suppose if anybody's the villain is Alfred Woodard, I suppose, if anybody. But
she's more like, she is in the background getting away with things.
And I didn't get the sense that Luke was ever really like after her so much. He talked to her and he tell her, "Oh, I'm gonna take you down," blah blah blah. But he didn't really get a sense that it was Luke versus her per se.
So it was not personal then. I understand.
And then they decided to bring in again Diamondback's character just didn't work. He just was too over the top and ridiculous, and he didn't work.
And the thing is because of the actor that they got to play him.
Yeah, what I'd done personally is I'd have probably merged the Diamondback and Cottonmouth characters. So basically, I'd have given Cottonmouth some Diamondback thing and then erased the Diamondback character. So it would have been Luke versus Cottonmouth the entire series now, for the entire run of the season.
Yeah.
And another thing, I don't know if this would not make the narrative flow as good, but I would have probably gone with the old Cottonmouth power set, which is Cottonmouth's power set is very similar to Luke Cage. He can actually fight Luke Cage for one now. So I'd probably figure out a way to get that in, because you see him beating up people, and I say, oh well, they're making Cottonmouth like in the comic, at least the first version of Cottonmouth now. And I was like, okay, they're gonna do that, but they didn't do that, and that didn't really play out in the ending. It works for the most part. I really liked it, but it still feels like the weakest of the MCU, simply because they didn't have a good enough villain. Daredevil season 1 was the Kingpin. That Kingpin arc was just so good. Daredevil season 2 was Punisher. That was so good. Kilgrave was such a great villain for Jessica Jones, but just because they didn't have a strong villain, this it held it back for me. It was still pretty damn good though. I still really enjoyed this. I still enjoyed the binge watch. I didn't feel like I wasted my time or was bored or anything like that. Yeah, it slugged through a couple times, but for the most part, this was really damn good though.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what I would say about this, I thoroughly enjoyed the show. It really kept me from episode 1 go straight up. Like you said before, like I said just now there, I didn't feel like this is a chore for me to watch through all these episodes. I was glued, I was engaged. Even in moments where nothing really, well, when I say nothing, like nothing tense or action packed took place. Just the relationship between the characters, the way how they talked amongst each other, the conversation, the dialogue, I love that. Especially the first few episodes with Frankie Faison's character of Pop. I love those moments where he's talking to Luke, and I really love how the series give you this sense of like, well, that's the thing. I've never been to Harlem. I've been to New York, but unfortunately, that was the one area of New York I never got to be in. But anyway, I really got the sense of community, the sense that I know this guy. I go to his barbershop. I know what the type of person he is, what he stands for. You really got a sense of community, and I love how the show really played off the just proud of being black. Black Lives Matter, that kind of thing, and even touch on a little Black Lives Matter moment as well too. You really got a sense that when one person loses his life to the game or to the streets, the whole town kind of feels it. It kind of feels like that. I love that. Performances from top to bottom are great. Loved Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. He's charismatic. He's a very charismatic lead. A lot of female watchers will swoon. Every moment he's on stage, he's on screen. Sorry, just because of his build and his looks and all that. I loved Cottonmouth's character as well too. I loved him as a villain. And I love the little side thing that they did with him and his cousin, Alfred Woodard. I like that sort of back and forth they did there as well. What else? Misty Knight was great too. Like, I didn't know what to expect from her character, but the way how she was, portrayed, I was really impressed by, Simone's, performance. I do see what you mean in terms of the kind of slightly hammy, slightly comic bookish kind of dialogue.
Yeah.
Especially in the more intense moments. It's like you know that they want to go, they just want to say what's on their mind. They want to go for this R level kind of dialogue, but because it's within this comic book-esque world, you have to kind of tone things down. So it's kind of like, screw this, screw that, but you want to say the other word. But I kind of let that slide because, they did it before with Daredevil, they did it before with Jessica Jones, so I kind of get that. But there were moments where it kind of really stood out like, that's not what people were saying, Yeah. I do give the show kind of credit for saying for using the N-word. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
they do a good job with it because it's done plausibly.
Yeah, it's plausibly. Like, you could tell that's how...
That's actually one part of the dialogue that doesn't feel ridiculous and over the top. It's just other times when characters trying to be all clever, especially Misty Knight. She need to... she play basketball. And she father tells she about this. Especially this stuff, like, it really feels dated in many ways. Like, it felt like something out in the 90s. Right. This is how hip-hop is. And I'm...
Yeah, and she's mentioning, like, Shook Ones and Ice Cream with the songs back in 95.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that the show does a lot of. It loves to go back to the back in the day, when life wasn't all that chaotic and crazy and crime filled. So there's lots of talk about the 80s and the 90s and how music sounded and how people looked out for one another and that kind of stuff. It really kind of talked about that a lot. A little too much. It had moments where it kind of felt a little preachy at times, where it's about Harlem is like the birthplace of this, and all these legends, all these heroes came out. It kind of comes off like a love letter to Harlem.
I got that from it as well.
Like early Spike Lee movies were like love letters to Brooklyn and stuff, especially movies like Crooklyn and Do the Right Thing and He Got Game, and they always have those moments where it's like, I love New York, I love Brooklyn. In this case, I love Harlem so much. There were those moments, and they kind of stood out a little too much, but I felt what they were going for. It's really about that black pride, and going back to that term, neo-blaxploitation.
Right.
Now, the untrained eye would look at blaxploitation movies and be like, oh, these are just cheesy, corny movies about pimps and players, and taking movies and making them black, so you have to have a Blackenstein and Blackula and all these things. And we could look at it now and kind of laugh at those shows like, haha, Blackula, that's corny. But that was the point of why these shows were made. It was really at a time where people felt that you weren't seeing enough black faces on screen. And after shows like The Wire, which still remains one of the top shows that really had a lot of black, I should say African American performers on screen, and this is another one that kind of joins that category, in my opinion. There are a lot of great black actors in that show. It kind of goes back to that, just really feeling proud about seeing these people on screen and kind of going back like, Luke Cage being like the new Shaft or the new Superfly or whatever. Or you could say
pretty much.
Cottonmouth itself is kind of like the new Superfly or the new Black Caesar, Yes, he's a gangster, but you get where he's coming from. He started from nothing and look where he is. You kind of want to be that, and then it's no wonder why he has that Biggie portrait behind him. He wants to be that. He wants to be the king, but still look at Biggie. He was on top, and look, age 25, died. So it's easy for heroes to die. We're all human, and the show kind of presents that, even right down to the point of showing Luke as vulnerable. I wouldn't say what happens to him, but there are lots of moments where it's like, yeah, this man could die. Is that just about him being shot at and bullets bouncing off him? It's like, yeah, this dude could die, and if it's not death hovering over him, it's the community himself, the people that he's fighting for. 1 minute they have his back, the next minute it's like, well, yeah, you do all these crimes and you do all these bad things, so why should we trust you? And I like how the show really plays off of that a lot. There was this one like long running gag, and I love how they spin it. I wouldn't say how they spin it. Is where like he's wearing the hoodies, he's wearing the sweatshirts, and every time he runs into like some criminal, they always firing shots, and he always comes out of it with bullet holes in his shirt.
Right.
I loved how they played that joke. That was really well done.
Yeah.
I felt that, well, if I have some criticisms, I would say that a couple of the villains came off a little too cartoony and comic bookish.
Yeah.
And you could argue, yes, it's blaxploitation, it's supposed to be like that, but still, I mean, yes, they're well written and they're well developed character wise, but still, it's kind of like, okay, should I take this seriously or should I not take this seriously? Because at moments it felt like, yeah, this is kind of fun, and it has a kind of fun vibe to it. I was having fun watching this show, but there are moments where it kind of goes for the serious, though. It's kind of like, well, yeah, it's a little too serious here. Kind of go back to the fun vibe, But what else in terms of criticisms? In terms of just the pacing of it, I talked about the 13 episodes in total. Just the pacing of the overall story was a little sluggish at times.
Right.
There were some episodes where you were kind of waiting for something to happen, and then it's like in the last 5 to 10 minutes when something actually does happen. The thing is, you enjoyed it so much. You enjoy the banter, the dialogue between the characters and how the characters are portrayed and acted. But still, it's kind of like, well, come on, pick it up, man. Pick up the pace a little bit. Yeah. But apart from that, though, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Performance-wise, acting-wise, music is fantastic. Adrian Young did it once again. So I would say, as an Adrian Young fan, if you haven't listened to his music, especially, and oh yes, I forgot to mention, a few songs from both 12 Reasons to Die and 12 Reasons to Die 2 actually appear in the series as well too.
Right.
So the moments where you actually hear songs being played during like a shootout or whatever, and you're hearing Adrian Young's music, those are like particularly from the 12 Reasons to Die albums. So if you haven't got the chance, seriously check out this guy's music. This man is a real deal. Same thing with Ali Shaheed Muhammad, although I will really have to look up and see what he contributed in terms of music. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything, but I was hearing a lot of Adrian Young stuff, I could tell it, but it's just, I'm not hearing the Ali Shaheed, I'm not hearing that so much, but I know it's there somewhere, but that's just a slight little nitpick. Right. Also, what else? Apart from that, like I said, I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it a little bit more than Jessica Jones, believe it or not. But I understand why you prefer, Jessica Jones over this one. And I could say, the reason being is that, all 3 shows, that's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, have different tones. Daredevil goes for the gritty, Jessica Jones goes for the more dark and psychological. This one is lighter in tone, but it really goes for this really serious Black Pride, Black Lives Matter kind of vibe. And they kind of hammer that point a little too much, but I see what they're going for.
Well, Luke Cage's character is like the Captain America, essentially. He's the Captain America, the Superman. In fact, I saw a tweet made a joke that how Luke Cage is already a better Superman than the DCCU Superman. Like, wow. Brutal. Yeah. No, but yeah, it's the character supposed to be the light-hearted, the good guy, They do a good thing with him. The one part I liked is where they do the whole Carl Lucas and, you had to change his name and that whole thing. Yeah. I thought that was really well done. But yeah, it is lighter, but it works.
Yeah. But one thing though, I do see why people might not like it as much as say Daredevil because of the lack of action in certain episodes.
Right. I heard a couple.
I get that. Okay,
I
but
had a couple of people on the like little forums and thing I read. I saw people complain about the choreography wasn't as good, and I was like, no, this is how Luke Cage would fight because he's super powered. Like Daredevil
he wouldn't
has
really
to have,
do that much.
Daredevil has to kick ass, so the choreography would be different. I thought the choreography in this was fine. It was exactly what it needed to be.
Exactly.
And so I didn't complain about stuff like that. I thought it worked, and especially when there's a plot device that something harms Luke Cage, and they do a good job with explaining and doing a good that whole plot device. And well, Claire Temple was right there for the perfect solution. So whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it works.
Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I see a lot of people kind of looking at the show and being like, well, some people, not a lot. Some people like, yeah, this is just slow and boring. I don't know what to make of this. Where's the action? Come on, it's Marvel. Come on.
Right.
But you have to really sit. Well, I don't say there's a chore, but because of the characters themselves, especially Luke Cage, because of the likability of these characters and because of the performances, is enough to just keep you invested, even when there's nothing of extreme importance going on. Just the way how these characters are, it makes it work. It feels a lot like The Wire in a sense. It feels more like a sort of police procedural slash gangster slash some ordinary guy, or in this case, this superpowered guy going up against this criminal kind of, story. And once you go into this show knowing that, then you're going to have a blast with this show. But if you're going expecting another Daredevil, this low-wood Avenger, doing his thing, the new Dark Knight, then you're going to be
as I said before, if Daredevil didn't have Kingpin and they didn't do such a good job spending time on Kingpin, I would have liked Daredevil way less because Matt Murdock was barely tolerable. Foggy was barely tolerable at points.
You find
especially in that first season. Yeah, especially in that first season. Yeah, it's the villains and anti-heroes is what sell Daredevil. And again, I just reiterated my point with Jessica Jones. Yeah, if it wasn't for Kilgrave, I wouldn't have liked Jessica Jones. Like Kilgrave is what's... Yeah,
the way how the character is. So
yeah, they got somebody
anti-hero kind of character.
Yeah, and they got somebody like above the material to do it, which is David Tennant. He was like, to me, he's a superior actor to this stuff to almost everybody involved in the MCU in general. Like there's only like 2 or 3 actors that are above him in terms of quality. In the whole line of the MCU, this including the movies and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like he was totally to me he was like leagues ahead. The character and the MCU Netflix stuff now. So I was like quite surprised to get somebody as big as him to do Kilgrave, and then he totally knocked it out of the park as a villain.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And again, Marshall is solid, but he was slightly underwritten, him and Diamondback, and they could have done a lot more with that. So that just
but I totally agree with you. Your superhero show, you have to have a great villain, and I just felt that, with what we were given here with this one, the villains themselves did not stand out as much as they should have.
Yeah.
I think it's just because of how they were presented, not because of how they were acted. I mean, the acting was great, all true.
Right.
Even right down to the hammier moments, but still, it's just because of how the characters were portrayed, how they were written was.
Right.
It is like you're not gonna remember Cottonmouth as much as you did with Kingpin. But I'll just say this last point before I get to my rating. This, I would kind of argue that this show kind of came out at the right time in terms of like what's going on in terms of America and stuff. But I kind of don't want to say that because I don't want people to think that something like Trayvon Martin had to happen, so now we're gonna get a show like this with a guy in a hoodie fighting crime.
Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, it could have happened regardless because it's one of those things that just the politics and the social. All the social stuff at the time would accentuate it. But yeah, it was going. The character is already a pretty popular Defender character anyway. We knew Marvel was going to do Defenders anyway. So it's not like, oh well, they had Black Lives Matter, then that create or accent or bring forward Luke Cage. That's not the case. I don't think that's the case.
Like I don't think it's like that, but something like this came out like at just the right time. Where.
Right.
With the whole political landscape that's going on right now, and just things going on in terms of Black Lives Matter stuff. You need something like this to kind of remind people. We still have some. Black heroes still exist.
So yeah, that's what I got from it, and
Yeah.
especially the whole bulletproof thing. Oh gosh,
Exactly, yeah,
you know,
the
right.
whole bulletproof skin and
Yeah,
that
so
kind
but
of thing.
the thing is, the movie didn't play it up too much. The series didn't play it up too much. You had the little couple moments with the little Black history stuff,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to like they had a little thing with gun ownership. They make a reference to Justin Hammer, who was one of the villains in Iron Man 2. Especially his weapon and technology. I was trying to think of which was the metal that they got from. They say it's outer space. That's why the bullets were so expensive.
I assumed it was that. Yeah.
No. Well, Justin Hammer is he didn't have anything from outer space. I was trying to think what metal they got. I was thinking it was the stuff from the Avengers that crashed on Earth now.
Right. Okay.
All
Well,
at least
could be that.
yeah, the stuff right. So there's all these little scrap metal and thing from the attack on New York from the first Avengers. Right. I think that's what it was. Because that's the only alien metal that anybody would have access to. It couldn't be Thor's technology. It couldn't be anything like that. That's the only thing I could think of. So that's it.
Okay.
It does. Another thing, there's a slight complaint. I thought we should have got a little small cameo from Iron Fist or something, just to get a little hype on him.
Oh.
Because I thought, and we should have got a couple of little Marvel references. It was just
me
example.
too. Yeah,
It was only
I
example.
felt that we could have had like a character from one of the existing Marvel Netflix shows, or at least another reference to another character. Because they did that like in the first couple of episodes. They just sort of stopped altogether.
Right. I really thought we would have gotten like a Iron Fist reference. Just Iron Fist show up, do a little something, and then bust out. A little 1 episode, 2 episodes. But you didn't get that. What small thing? No biggie.
Yeah. But for me, just rated wise, like I won't say it is the best thing that that Marvel has done in terms of their story. Their Netflix shows. I will say it is one of the best, and I will say it is right hands down one of the best shows I've seen this year thus far.
Yeah.
And for that, I will give this a strong 4 to 5 stars.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out as soon as you can. You're gonna have fun with this one. Just don't go in expecting Daredevil, especially Daredevil season 2. This is not Daredevil season 2. This is totally different.
That's the thing. John Berntal was just such a great anti-hero in Daredevil season 2.
And
in fact, it was so good that to me the beginning Electro kind of killed the momentum in my opinion.
It did.
I find they should have made the whole story about him, and they should have a big like real badass combat battle at the ending with the villain in that.
Yeah.
But as you know, that's just another complete.
Yeah.
I mentioned that already. Anyway.
Yeah. Right.
The thing is, I just say my only lament is that they need a stronger villain. That's it. They could have, but they got into the whole Harlem corruption and the pathology of black success in the United States and that whole back.
I love that as well too.
Right, and they do a good job with that.
To Alfred Woodard's character is like, yeah, you could do these despicable things and still get away with it,
Yeah,
because of
your
position.
They had a nice little thing that kind of catch me off guard with Alfred Woodard and Shades at the end in there.
Oh yes.
Shades is a pretty good actor though.
Theo Rossi. He was always great in like Sons of Anarchy. One of my favorite characters from that show.
Right.
Glad to see that he's getting work. So yeah. But yeah, I had a blast with this one. I had fun with it. It's surprisingly socially conscious and relevant. I didn't expect that. I just thought it was just going to be, this badass guy from the hood doing, stuff. I actually thought it was going to be a lot more gritty and more brutal. I mean, there are brutal moments, but not as much as, say, Daredevil or to extent Jessica Jones. But still, check it out. You'll have fun with it. Binge worthy from start to end. So, Ricardo, what's your rating?
Yeah, I give it roughly a similar score. I give it a,
I forgot your thing with TV shows, right?
Right. Similar score, pretty high, if there's anything.
Yeah. I was going to give it a 4.5, but I think maybe if I watch it over, I may give it that. But right now, still one of the best shows I've seen this year.
Yeah, strong recommend. Great cast of characters. Totally enjoyed it. Still had some issues with it mostly because of the villain, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But it still totally worked for me.
So once again, Marvel and Netflix knock it out the park.
Yeah, they did.
Netflix once again, another great show. Yo.
Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Right. So before you destroy Jamaica, Matthew, where can we find you online, sir?
Oh, well, if you'd like to find out where Hurricane Matthew is, you could go up on Twitter, look for Legally Black MJB in capital letters. Yes, a hurricane actually has a Twitter page. Anyway, so you could find the link to this recording there too. Also, you can find me on Facebook, look for Matthew Bailey, and also look for a Legally Black official fan base. Here you will see, my podcasts, including this one that you're listening to right now, along with my written reviews. If you look very close, if you look carefully, You'll see the one that I did for Only God Forgives, which I still hate to this day. And on the subject of that, please feel free to let me know what you thought about Nini and Demon, and also Luke Cage. What you thought about that? Miles Ahead, have you seen it, or do you intend on seeing that? And also Kickboxer Vengeance. Do you care about these type of movies? Do you care about Van Damme? You think he did well with this one? So comment below and let me know. But apart from all that, Ricardo, where can we find you?
Yes, you could find me at Rmeddy. That is Ampersat RMEDDY on Twitter. And then you could find me, just type in my name on Facebook, and you can find me there as well. That's pretty much it. I kind of slightly regret not watching this movie. Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes, we were supposed to watch Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, but, no, here's the problem. What happens is that I didn't want to. I wanted to wait because I couldn't get a good screener for it. I couldn't find one still, and I was asking around for it, and I couldn't get it. So I was kind of, if anything, I'd have forced to watch it pirate. So I really don't want to do that. But
we will check it out because it's a show that we've been hearing a lot of great things about it. I know you've been mentioning it a lot before in other past podcasts.
Yeah, I was hyping it for a while. Yeah. So I want to just see how good this movie is. I'm gonna really try the thing, but I think push come to shove, I'll probably just pirate that and go through.
Yeah.
All
right. What else?
And the internet. By the way, the internet. If anybody care or familiar with it, the internet is now not in the hands of the United States anymore. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. So that might change things on the internet in and around.
That doesn't sound good.
I don't know. I can't tell because in some ways it could be more free, but in other ways it could be less free. We don't know. Yeah. All
right. So stuff to look forward to. Movie wise, Deepwater Horizon looks pretty good. I actually think, provided that I stay healthy for the next week, I will make it. I will take the chance to check that out.
Right. I'm gonna make the effort to see. I think it came out. I should have gone to see it this week, I think. But I should have gone to see Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch that. I don't know.
I wasn't personally too hyped for it. But yeah, I'm gonna make the effort to see it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Stalks I'm gonna make an effort to see as well. The trailer looked good, but I have no idea how it is. But that's a really damn it.
Yeah, you check out Stalks and let me know how it was.
Yeah,
Not about anything about the show.
It's a pretty damn entertaining trailer.
Yeah, other stuff to look forward to. Let's see, we actually gonna get Birth of a Nation. What?
Yes. And I got that was a controversy in and around it, mostly to do the director and his career and what he do in his college days and that whole thing.
So I want to see if that show
really
lives up to the hype on that.
Well, the movie that I have big hype for, that I'm really glad that turns out quite well, and people who generally negative about it seem to like it, which is Arrival. I'm really excited for Arrival. I want that to be good.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it comes down here. I'm hoping that
that's most likely going to come down. It's big enough to come down, but I'm just totally hyped for that. I want to see it, and that's going to be one of the big hype for the year.
Right. What else? Also, well, it's October, so just around the bend we're gonna have Halloween. So remember last couple episodes we talked about that retrospect review thing. We might talk about Salu. So I was thinking maybe not with the next episode, but maybe the next one coming up, or maybe I'm not too sure. But definitely before Halloween, we have to do like a retrospect, specifically with like horror flicks.
Right.
But we could go at it with stuff that we're familiar with, stuff that we grew up on, stuff that are very obscure. I know the obscure horror stuff. I could just recommend a couple for you to check out. We could talk about those, and then the ones that you might really say are horror, but are extremely horrific. Case in point, Salo.
Yeah.
And just really what it does in terms of horror. Like it's not like a monster or some kind of supernatural entity, but what it does in terms of like humanity and whatnot. Just that deeper level of horror. I think that's something that we could really explore.
Talk about what does really make a scary movie scary.
Yeah.
Why, what some scary movies, how you could play it for laughs, how you could, amongst the gamut of how to get people to, jump out of the seats or not, or really, really creep them out in a long time.
Yeah, just really get into their nerves, but really get into their head and just, Right. So that's pretty much about it.
Right.
So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever you listen to this. This was Hurricane Matthew Bailey. And
this is Ricardo Medina.
Yeah, tropical storm or tropical depression
Maybe.
Ricardo
Yeah.
Matida.
Yeah.
And we're signing off from another episode of Bears Beats and Bailey. So until next time, guys, take care. Peace. Later.
Yeah. All right.
This goes out to my peoples on lockdown and all my peoples on the street. This goes out to my peoples on lockdown and all my